Going live. Going
Why
live.
couldn't you have worn the grey top from last time?
Live. Why couldn't I have worn the grey top from last time? Because it needed washing.
Look at us.
Yeah. Sometimes I change my clothes as a treat. So yeah. I will be the shadowy person. Hi everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. I've got a light coloured interior. That's not working at all. Forget that. I was trying to show off.
I'm going to show off this hood by putting it on.
Well, I was trying to like open it up so you could see the light coloured interior. So like I have a light coloured outline around my neck, showing off my neckline and such. So I think my mic positioning is bad. Okay, it's fine. Are you wondering why you bother coming to this shop to do the show with me? Look, I saved that.
It's all the fact of you find this stressful.
I see. Hi,
Anyway,
how
hello.
are you doing?
It's 10th February.
It's 10th February.
Yeah. 10th February 2024, and you're here for a show.
10th February. It's the 10th of February.
10th February.
10th February. Okay. I feel like there should be an of in there.
Okay.
Hi, welcome to the show, everyone. It's the 10th
I'm
of
glad
February.
you know where you are and who you are.
Welcome to Janine Garofalo's adventure. Right. That's a very obscure joke that no one will get, but it was a really, really, really funny intro to Game Grumps one time. We're here, just about. What RAM is that? That's a good question. That's an excellent question. What RAM is that?
It's G-Skill Trite.
No, your audio didn't cut out. He just stopped talking.
No, it's DDR3 2400 C10 stuff that was kindly sent in by Chris.
Yes, this is the this is the MSI M-Power motherboard that we're very, very slowly gearing up to do extreme overclocking with. And yeah, we've got this DDR3 2400, and like 2400 that's like bonkers fast for DDR3.
That's mad, certainly for like an XMP kit. Yeah,
so that's actually hectic RAM. So yeah, at CL10, well, CL10 is for DDR3. Was CL9 a thing?
Yeah, I don't know how it does kind of on the timings, but just purely on the frequency, it's very fast.
Yeah. Be interesting to know what what first word latency is on that. That's probably got to be down in the 8s or something. But
yeah.
Anyway, some DDR3 Samsung chips for fast XMP, not dying like PSC.
Yes.
Those were words. Welcome
club.
in, JD. It's good to see you. So yeah, on time. Yeah, we were just about on time. I'm just been gearing myself up to be awake. I felt slightly bad because I've forgotten his name because I'm awful. But a chap came in first thing this morning to bring in his Dell XPS, and he was just like, "Oh, fan of the channel and stuff." And he just got up one morning and was just like, "My XPS is broken. I'll drive to Adamant IT and get him to fix it." But he caught me like first thing in the morning, and I was up until 1 a.m. last night drinking cider. So I was just like, "Yeah, we can probably do this. It's going to cost this amount." He's just like, "Oh, it's nice to put a name to a face." I'm like, "Yeah, so it'll cost about this amount to fix the laptop." And after he left, I was just like, "Man, I could have pretended to be pleased to see him, you know. I could have pretended to actually be interested in him."
It's okay, you were desperately ill.
Yeah, so...
You were desperately ill, and we've actually replaced you with your stage brother who is unwell.
So, if you happen to be watching, sorry I wasn't more animated this morning. I just got in, I hadn't had coffee yet, and I was slightly hungover because I'd been heavily drinking. And by heavily drinking, I mean I had 2 ciders. So, so anyway... my vision, thanks.
Professional.
Thanks for the $5. Good afternoon, gentlemen. What do you have in store for your viewers today? Stuff and things. So we got the Empower Max out because Caradog's bought a metal direct die hold down bracket for it.
Yeah.
And presumably you want to see if it posts with it, because
basically
last time we were messing around with this board, we had 3D printed direct die brackets, and
which worked absolutely fine for the Gigabyte board and the Asus board,
but we couldn't get them working on
this Empower one. And it's also interesting that the
ILM
Empower one had a Lotes hold down, whereas all of the others I think were Foxconn ones.
Oh, interesting.
So it's just possible that like the Lotes one is
different tolerances,
thousands of millimeters different in height or something, which just means the socket needs different pressure.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. That might be an explanation as to why this one didn't work where it did work on the rest of them. Yeah. Fair enough. So well, at any rate, so we've got a metal hold down plate for that. So basically, we're just essentially just going to post test this, and I guess I guess you could just give it a poke and just see if it actually does things. It's not going to go far without serious cooling, and the chiller is not ready. In the chiller,
there is too much stuff in the way.
Yeah, the chiller needs to be regassed and stuff. I assume anyway. Yeah, like any plans on that?
Not specifically. In theory, it can be used.
Yeah.
It does just need seemingly slightly less gas in it.
Yeah, so we could possibly run it if we just bled a little bit of gas. If we just tap the nozzle a couple of times, go.
Yeah.
So yes, that might get it going again. Theoretically, to actually get the most out of it, it needs a different kind of gas in it, though. We decided, didn't we?
It's got a gas in it that is designed for different pressures for the pressure that it's got. Or the pressures that it can do. So it looks like, because of that, we're getting lower temperature. It's boiling, it boils off at a lower temperature, hence we get a lower head temp.
Yeah.
Or a higher head temp. A less negative temperature.
Yes. Understandable. Yeah. Fair enough. So at any rate, so we're going to post test this and just see if we've got the board in a state where the board is good to go, and then, because then if nothing else, it just means that at some point, even if we don't have the chiller ready to go, we could slap some other direct die cooling on this and play with it. So no plans for it quite yet, but the point is we're very slowly moving this into a position where we can try and do stuff, because at some point we're still looking to try and just put a score on the board somewhere, just so we can be like, cool, we put a score on the high scoreboard. Because we're not going to break records, but it's fun to just put a score onto a leaderboard and be like, I'm on that leaderboard.
Yeah,
we are the X fastest in the world.
I'm 7th fastest.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm still sad about my Ori runs. Yeah. Okay. Again, I dipped my toes into doing speed runs on Ori and the Blind Forest, and I managed to get in at the bottom of one of the leaderboards, and I then realised that I hadn't managed to come. The reason why I got in at the bottom of the leaderboard was not because I was the 17th fastest, was that there were only 17 people on the board. So all I had to do was just put in a time, and I would have been at the bottom of that board. The board just wasn't full yet. So, however, I did beat the slowest time on the board. So technically, I was faster than the previous person who didn't done it.
Excellent, well done. All you need to do now is post one that's faster than someone else.
Yeah, the problem, I wanted to go further with that, but it basically required me to get good at a trick shot that is horrifying to do. And I was like, I don't care that much. It required me to do a trick shot that would require a lot of grinding to be able to pull off consistency, and I'm not willing to put in the grind for it. I could do a cleaner time just by cleaner gameplay, but to really get a meaningful score, I needed to actually pull off a massive trick shot that allowed me to skip a third of the game, basically. And I was like, I can't be asked to do the grind to get good at that. So, anyway, a pro tip for winning is to find something that no one else has done. Yeah, basically. Anyway, so yeah, we got this.
I am the fastest at driving backwards around Spa-Francorchamps.
Yeah. Yeah. So other stuff we've got as well. There's a gaming PC that's half built that came in about an hour ago. Lad came in. He's just done his first build, and he got to that point where he'd put all the components into the computer, had an enormous bundle of cables, and was just like, "Nope, I'm done. I'm out. Someone please finish this for me." And that's a fairly common point. Most of the time, half the time when people come in with half-finished builds, it's at this point of the build, because they've spent like 3 hours unboxing stuff, unwrapping stuff, getting it all in there and bolting it in there, and then they look at all of those cables, and the prospect of actually doing all of the plumbing is daunting enough that they go, "Nope, I'm out. I need someone to finish this for me." So I don't blame him in the slightest. It's the point where a lot of people lose the faith, basically. And so yeah, we're probably going to throw that up on the bench and finish that build off, because there's not a huge, like, it just needs plumbing basically, but there's a few things that need doing. We've already spotted a couple of build errors which he may have also spotted, and that might also have been the bit that pushed him over the edge. Tabs in the rear I/O. Those who know. But yeah. So we're going to do that as well, and we might. I kind of want to unbox the new 3D printer and look at that.
With lasers.
Yeah, we're not going to start it up. I don't think we're going to start it. We might plug it in and turn it on just so it goes, because that's the noise it will make. Yeah, I have a new 3D printer in for review. It's a resin printer, so it's the 3D printer I've already got, the Creality Ender 5 S1 Pro, is an FDM printer, so it's a filament printer. This one is a resin printer, so it takes liquid resin and it pulls a model out of the resin. So it has a fundamentally different method of printing, and it has different strengths and weaknesses. So I've got one of those in for review. I don't know anything about resin printing, so the first thing to do is just to unbox it and just look at all of the bits and go, okay, this does this, this does this, just so when I actually start recording a review, I can actually pretend that I know what I'm talking about.
I have seen a printer before.
Yes, so yeah. Resin poisoning incoming. This one's got built-in filters and all the rest of it. This is the new age. They got built-in air filters and everything now. So yeah.
Handy. Safety.
So yeah, what specs is the PC? Don't know yet, haven't looked at it yet. But we'll have a look at that as well. Do the plumbing while assembling, not at the end of it. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, half and half, isn't it?
To an extent, yeah. Did you verify the PC post before doing any plumbing? Nope, don't know anything about it. We've just got a half-built PC. That's all I know. So yeah.
So yeah, we'll fix any wrinkles and.
Yeah. Why modern motherboards don't have integrated I/O shields is beyond me. I agree. At this point, anything that is not the cheapest motherboard money can buy, just have a built-in I/O shield. I agree.
I can understand for the absolute cheapest ones, but
any enthusiast board, it should be built in these days. So yeah, like any enthusiast board where it's expected to be built as an enthusiast build, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah. Morning, Raider. We are well, thank you. Does it also cure the print in there? It does not. However, I have a curing and washing machine as well, which we're also going to unbox. That one's from a different
shower screen.
Yeah. That one's from a different company and is not part of the review. But I deliberately bought one just from a completely random company, just so it was just an unbiased thing, because it's not. I mean, yeah, no, it won't be part of the review. I'll probably deliberately gloss over it because the review will be dedicated to the printer.
I also have a washing and drying machine. Smash cut. Here it's washed and dried.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Actually, there's nothing preventing me from saying from talking about the washer and curing machine I've purchased, because because basically the printer it's a Uniformation GK2, and I have been they have sent me a free sample. They have sent me a free 3D printer that I get to keep in exchange for making a review video about it. That is our agreement. And And but yeah, I have no yeah. There's nothing saying I'm not allowed to talk about other stuff in the same video. Part of me was just like, is that bad form? But it's like, well, no, because this is just another device, and like Uniformation also make a washing and curing box, but also they didn't want to send me one of those. I did say, unless you want to send me this, do I need to buy this? Will you send me one of yours? And they were like, no. So I was like, okay, I'm going to buy one then. So yeah, if they wanted me to review their one, they should have sent me one. So
yes.
So yes, I will say, yeah, the washing curing machine is by Anycubic, and it was the cheapest one on Amazon that looked like it did all the things that I wanted it to do. It seemed to be the cheapest machine that did washing and curing. Anything that was cheaper was basically just like an outdoor floodlight that had a UV bulb fitted to it, and you just point it at the model kind of thing. This was the cheapest machine that seemed to be a dedicated machine that had a nice little turntable, so it slowly turned the model, so the light hit it all evenly and stuff. So yeah, I got that one not because I didn't even look at the reviews. I just was just like, that's the cheapest one. It seems to do the job. Buy it. It's still 90 quid, not cheap, but you know, considering the value of the equipment that I've got for review, I'm just like, sure, I'll pay 90 quid to get everything else I need. So yeah. So yes. Yes, it is a washer and a curer in one go. I'll nuance you about the IO shield. It should be built in but removable for the modder. Yeah, that's reasonable. But I mean, ultimately it's going to have some kind of removal mechanism anyway. But like, yeah, it's not difficult to have some, like even just clip on, just so it's clipped on in the box or something. So yeah. Do I 3D print things for use in the shop, or is it non-work related stuff? Bit of both. I've printed a couple of 3D things just for the shop. Like for example, you know, my Paul Daniels Type C power meter. I made a little 3D printed stand and bracket to hold that because that was just a bare circuit board. And just you know, if I need just a random holder thing or a random bracket thing, I currently 3D print that. Half of it is just for stuff at home, but also I'm moving into a position where I'm going to get the 3D printer set up on another bench where they're a bit more accessible and offer 3D printing as a service as well. It's not going to be a main money spinner, it's just going to be another thing that I have available. So, you know, people who are nearby or in range who want to 3D print something, this can be a place where you can come in and just say, here's an STL, or here's a Thingiverse link, can you print this for me? And I can be like, yes, that'll cost you X amount of money. But yeah, I've no idea what I'm going to charge for that yet. But I want to get into a position where I'm offering that as a service because I've got the equipment to do it. So why not, right? You know. So yes. Just dealing with resin in any capacity, wear gloves. Oh yeah, I probably should have bought some marigolds or something. But yeah, well, I think... No, they're at home. No, I was going to say, I was about to say I've got some gloves, but they're at home because I have them for when I'm working on the car. But it's fine. We're not actually going to do any 3D printing on the stream today because the other thing is 3D printing takes hours, so we can't really do it on stream. So yeah, the only thing I can really do is, I guess if it's got the equivalent of like the Rabbit benchmark or something like that, because like the Creality Ender 5, that will tear through Rabbit in like 15 minutes. The latest Sonic Pad updates for it, it's bonkers how fast it can burn through that benchmark. It literally just goes brrrr, Rabbit, and you're like, wow, you've clearly optimized that specific benchmark, you know.
I'm not saying I'm optimizing for benchmarks.
Yeah,
but
they have absolutely optimized that benchmark because when I first got it, it wasn't that fast, and it's now that fast. So, yeah. Can you print me a pistol? Yes. However, your hand will explode if you try and use it. Right. Right. Does she post? Yep. Caradog is very, very slowly moving into a position to see if that thing posts. Do the thing. Also, at some point, also coming up today, because it's in the title topic, we're going to try and assemble Caradog's coffee distributor.
Yes.
and I will demand that Caradog explains what the hell the coffee distributor is and why it's important. What do you look? Oh, you.
I was looking for the ProLimmer PK2 because I could see the MX4, but
yeah, only the finest thermal paste for this test. So yes. Can you 3D print me a 3D printer? I mean, I can 3D print you a lot of parts for a 3D printer. But yeah. You're painting a Nix from EVE Online that's done in PLA and carbon fiber. Neat.
And carbon fiber.
Yeah, I was going to say carbon fiber sounds very fancy for a model. Or is it like a PLA with some carbon fiber cover bits or something? Because like 3D printed PLA is good for doing quick dirty models, but you don't actually get a very nice finish. So I could see people doing that and then having like carbon fiber trim pieces or something. So yeah. Is 3D printer suitable for putting in the shop window as an attractor? The thought occurred to me because it would be really cool to have it in the shop window and but especially if it was running often, just so it would be a thing in the window that was doing things. But I can't do that without having it being a bit too accessible to the public, effectively. So yeah, because a kid is going to come into the shop, go over and poke it while it's running. Whereas what I'm going to do is there's a bench that's very close to the that's right next to the arch between the two shop rooms, and it's technically in the workshop, so I can have just a big line on the floor saying no customers past this point. But also it's close enough that people can see it and be like, ooh, there's a machine doing a thing. And if I so wanted to, I could be like, by all means, come and have a closer look. Just don't touch it. So
look
yes.
with your eyes, not with your hands.
Yes. Time to start counterfeiting all the Nintendo toys. Absolutely. Remember, if it's Nintendo,
absolutely not.
It's always morally correct. Yeah.
I would never encourage such a thing, but don't give Nintendo money.
Some would melt the prints when it's hot. Don't know. It would fade them, but like you've got to get up to 50 degrees minimum, and like I don't think stuff. I guess if we get a heat wave, we might get 40 degrees in the shop front window, but I don't think we're going to get 50 to 60 degrees. I could certainly see colours fading in direct sunlight though. So yeah. You might be getting your materials mixed up. That's fair. Summertime full view, it will melt. It will wilt. Like, are you speaking from experience there? Like, I'm not trying to be contradictory. I just find it hard to believe. Like, I've not put it to the test. Like, if someone has put it to the test and seen that, yes, British sunshine is strong enough to melt 3D printed stuff, I just find that a bit hard to believe. But, like, if you've seen it happen in England, I don't mean in the Arizona desert, then, okay, fair enough, you know. PLA can go mushy in the sun. All right, yeah. I might put it to the test this summer, actually, just so I can see the effect myself. Because, as I say, this is not to say I don't believe you, but I might try that just so I can see to what extent that happens. Because I'm curious, like, is it mushy in a sense of your man will go like a horrified snowman, or is it just a case of if you poke it, it'll bend, you know? It looks like it's not working.
Indeed, I was just making sure if it was or wasn't the RAM.
Yeah. You could put barbed wire and electric fence around the printer, especially for kids. I mean, if they touch it, they're going to lose a finger anyway, so I think that'll be a good enough, yeah.
She can't play with that. It's sharp. It'll be a learning opportunity.
It will be a good lesson then, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, certainly. That much being said, long term I need to get an enclosure for the Ender 5 anyway. If nothing else, just so I can put an air filter on it. Because like it doesn't make that much fumage, but it does make enough that I don't run it without having a fan on in the room, just to blow the air around. Like at the moment, the Ender 5 is behind my workbench, and if I have it running, it posted.
Yeah.
If I have it running while I'm at the workbench and it's just wafting fumes in my direction, it will actually give me a headache. So I always have a desk fan just cycling air around in the room, and that's enough. The room is big enough that I don't need to actually have ventilation, but there does need to be some air circulation.
Actually, tell.
Resin printer, different story. Resin printers, I'm told that those are like mega turbo toxic. However, the GK2 that I've got here, apparently it has its own enclosure, and it has apparently a fan and air filter of its own. So yeah. Is it time to make an Adamant IT anime mascot? That's not a terrible idea.
I refuse to be a part of this.
I mean, it's either that or it's a furry mascot. That's not a terrible idea, but yeah. I'm not going to hold my breath straight away. Right. We all refuse. That's because you guys all suck. You wonder why I don't hang out with you. That was a joke. I'm sorry. I should spend more time with my community. Sensing judgment from Caradog there. That's fine. Caradog is the community. He looks after the community for me.
It's fine. You spent an entire hour in the Discord and a voice call.
I did.
Yeah.
None of my other friends are around.
Exactly.
Why not a furry anime mascot? Why not both? It's true. Anime mascots based on Graham and Caradog, obviously. This would be very funny. It's better that than caricatures. But yeah. Alright. Furry is too far. There's been very, very funny discourse on Blue Sky this week. Blue Sky went public instead of being invite only. And just so a whole bunch of public people have come in and be like, why are there furries everywhere? To which the entire furry community is just like, we own this platform. We were here first. This is our place now. And there were lots of very funny memes, including that. My favorite one was there was a quote: how can I see less furries on Blue Sky? And it was just a picture of Commander Worf captioned "Die." And yeah, I thought that was very, very funny. I'm in on the joke, so I think it's funny. Anyway.
Inclusive, loving community.
Well, I mean, from a more critical perspective, actually, I was talking about this to other friends, and I did say, in all seriousness, I did say that could actually be a problem with uptake of Blue Sky, because this is one of the reasons why a lot of people are a bit iffy about Mastodon. Mastodon is basically just a collection of cliques, and if the Blue Sky community aren't careful, they will create the same problem, where they will stunt the growth of their own platform by gatekeeping too hard, basically. So yeah, on a more serious note, as funny as it is to make the funny joke, hey, it did it.
Only one channel works.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
The mounting is poor.
Yeah.
It's all JD's fault.
Damn it, JD. We have got a ban JD sticker, right?
I don't think so. I just have the picture saved in my downloads.
Fair enough. Is it worth just taking the ILM off and putting it on again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, the mount is bad.
Guessing it's a good thing I don't know what Blue Sky is. It's a Twitter competitor. It's a new platform made by by some of the OG Twitter people, including Jack Dorsey, Jack Dorsey, Jack from Twitter. Yeah. However, Blue Sky differs from Blue Sky differs from Twitter in a sense that it is a protocol per se. So the idea is it will be a federated platform where you can effectively run your own Blue Sky server per se, which is similar to how Mastodon works, but unlike Mastodon, Blue Sky is also itself has their own server. So as Joe Public, you can just sign up for a me@bsky.net, which is what most people do. But if you want to have your own private Blue Sky club, you can run your own separate thing, and all your tweets are on your own server. But you can still communicate with the rest of the Blue Sky network. So it's a decentralized Twitter, but they do also have a central place you can sign up if you don't care about the decentralization aspect. So and I think that's a very interesting thing, because that means it cannot be dominated by an algorithm. It has algorithms. You can choose to have discovery feeds, but by default, it has no algorithm, and an algorithm cannot be forced upon it, which is why I think it's very interesting and why I want to be on Blue Sky. So yeah. So yes. Put a Tribble in front of a Klingon. I'm kind of sad that did Tribbles ever make an appearance in Next Generation? They didn't, did they?
I don't know.
I'm
not sure. I couldn't tell you the episode if they did.
Yeah. Fair enough. I should watch TNG sometime. It's been a long time.
You said that last time.
I did, and I still haven't watched it. And I should, because I'm looking for stuff to watch at the moment. And as is the case with me, all the things that I thought of watching while I was watching something else, I said I'll watch that after I finish X. I've now forgotten. So it's a lot like my games playlist.
I thought you were going to say it's much like the match.
Okay, ow. But also, how's it going, chat? Let's talk about something else. Tribbles came back in DS9. Oh yeah, I said I should watch DS9 and or Voyager as well.
You should.
Yeah.
All of them. At once.
Watch the thing that I like again. Watch something new.
You should watch them all at once in chronological order.
At 2x, yeah.
No. Just I mean just watch season 1, 2, 3, 4 of TNG. Season 5 episode 1. Season 1 episode 1, Season 5 episode 2, Season 1 episode 2, etc. as the airing order. Because season 6 and 7, 5, 6 and 7 of TNG were on at the same time as season 1, 2 and 3 of Voyager and season 1 and 2 of DS9.
Interesting.
I think. Because DS9 starts with the Enterprise docking with DS9.
That's kind of neat.
So you could just watch it in airtime order.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. Like you could just rig up a big playlist, and like I'm sure someone has made playlists for this, and you just need to make sure you've got the content. But yes, actually like Voyager. Janeway was a badass. Yeah,
there's coffee in that nebula.
Yeah, I've never watched Voyager.
Get this cheese to sickbay.
See, I understood the coffee joke. I don't understand the cheese joke.
It's very important. The cheese is very important for them fixing their computers.
Should I ask for context, or is it going to take like an hour to explain the deep lore?
So, you know how computers in Star Trek are isolinear? They use isolinear chips, right?
Okay.
Well, the Voyager is a new generation of chip.
I see.
And it has bio-gel packs for its computing.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them gets infected by a virus. as in a biological virus.
Ah.
And then the biological virus spreads between all of the gel packs, and they lose control of the computer because the thing that does the computing is infected with a virus, but not a program virus. So yes.
And thus there's cheese growing in the computer.
And they then discover a cheese that has the correct fungi to do some sort of antivirus.
Oh, I said the cheese is the antivirus. It counteracts. I see.
I'm trying to remember part of it. Yes, I haven't seen the episode.
Star Trek
since
is a
it aired.
very serious program that deals with deep philosophical topics.
Like, is it okay to exploit the cheese people?
Oh no, that's funny because you could just.
Should I exploit the cheese people for my antivirus?
I don't know if you're joking or not with that. Like, that's why it's so funny, because that might not be a joke. You know? I see.
This feels like explaining the Horus Heresy to people. Yeah, but at least this makes sense.
I see. All right. Caradog's making the thing post. It posted, with 2 channels.
Yes.
Okay.
With twice the memory.
Good.
Where is the Animax? Keyboard.
Oh, I see, yes.
Because the Intel one is
it's
there.
on the back of the iMac. You can disconnect it from the iMac, because that's just doing a data transfer. Yes. Cool. I wonder if it's worth just turning it off and just wobbling the keyboard. Just turning it off, wobbling the motherboard, and then seeing if it'll post. Like,
I also just wanted to see what this was.
oh, the temperature, yeah. Oh, I suppose, just to see, like, even with a perch mount, it seems to be giving a good temperature. So, yeah, that's a good sign.
It isn't violently terrible.
Yes.
It didn't immediately...
Because I seem to remember the last time that we were working on this, we did actually manage to get it to start with one of the 3D printed ILMs.
Yeah, but
it wasn't contacting.
Yeah, you were holding the heatsink down to give the mounting pressure.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, it's probably worth just giving it a little bit of a boost just to see if it falls over, because that will tell us whether that was just a fluke or whether you've actually got a stable fitment, which I think is kind of interesting.
We're going down a bumpy dirt road.
TNG was recorded on film and Voyager was on tape. Yeah, that's...
Which is a travesty.
Yeah, that's the other unfortunate thing, is TNG just still holds up so well today, whereas I know that Voyager is going to look like it's from the 90s.
Yeah.
What about DS9? Was that tape?
It was also on tape as well.
That's unfortunate, yeah.
Yeah, there was a project going around where people were AI upscaling it.
Interesting.
And, I think they had gotten through, 4 episodes.
Oh.
In, 5 or 6 months.
Yeah.
Because obviously they were having to do each scene on its own. Run a billion different versions and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if they were trying to get it, spot on.
Yeah.
Because, any idiot can be like, just run it through waifu 2x or something. And it's just yeah. But if we actually want to upscale this to something that looks great, you actually need to run several permutations and hand-pick the best out of each. And, yeah, that's going to be horrifyingly time-consuming. And if you don't actually hand-pick the best of each options and tweak for each scene, it's going to be a half-assed job, in which case, arguably, what's the point, you know? Yeah. Holodeck when? I want water warm on my face. That was a sequence of statements. What about Enterprise? I don't know.
Who said this?
Do you really? Enterprise I was never really interested in. I've heard that Enterprise had some good material in it, but I'm not sure if Enterprise just came too late. But yeah, is this a DDR3 system? If so, why? Yes, it is a DDR3 system. However, this is probably properly configured. Careful. Properly configured, this is the fastest DDR3 consumer desktop computer that there was, kind of thing. It's an have we got the 4790 in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a i7 4790, which was the fastest 4th gen i7. It's got the fastest DDR3 RAM in there, and it's got a motherboard with 20 VRM phases on it. So it can provide all of the power. So the reason why we're dicking around with this is that theoretically, this will set. This is the kind of thing that will actually. This is the kind of platform that could set world records for 4th gen overclocking. We're not talented enough to do that, but theoretically, this is the kind of platform that you could do that with. So yeah. It's one of those stories where sometimes the most fun you can have tuning something is to tune something that's old and just rag the nuts off of it. Tuning modern stuff is expensive and generally heartbreaking, whereas tuning old stuff is really fun.
Heartbreaking, soul-touching.
Enterprise was good until Paramount murdered it. What did they do? Did they step in halfway through or something? What OS would we be using?
Gotta have faith.
Probably Win 10 Ghost Spectre or something like that. Because because the benchmarking is all done on Windows, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously, because if you're running something like Y Cruncher, I would imagine that someone has got that running in Linux. But in order to do actual qualifying runs, you probably need to be on Windows so it can run it through Benchmate and stuff like that, and ensure that the result is validated. So yeah, probably Win 10 Ghost Spectre or something like that.
Yeah. Although if we actually end up with something half decent, might see if we can get XP to work, just because there is a huge difference on. I can't remember if it's PyPrime or Ghost or Y Crunch or something like that, but there is a huge difference on some of them.
Really? Will XP scale on the cores properly?
Yeah.
I thought XP was still a bit weird about multi-core systems.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. I can't remember what there is, but there's a couple of them. If you're going, world record attempts, it's why the
Hi, Paul.
It's why the 10th and 11th gen boards had the overclocker boards had specific SATA chipset
discrete SATA
controllers.
Yeah,
because they were XP SATA controllers.
Ah, interesting.
So they were XP SATA controllers, and they had XP bridges and stuff. So XP can communicate to the XP compatible thing, and then the XP compatible thing could talk to the rest of the system.
Interesting. Didn't know that. Yeah.
Because it was necessary for world record attempts.
Very well. 2:30 a.m. Paul, I'd tell you to fix your sleep schedule, but I know it's I know it's a wasted effort.
Have you considered going to sleep and just watching?
But also, I seem to remember we've had this conversation before, so I won't grill you for it. However, hopefully this is something of interest if you need it. We're talking about Star Trek and dicking around with an MSI Empower at the moment.
Yes.
And then I think after this one, I want to unbox the printer stuff. I want to get that unboxed because I want to look at that just so. I definitely want to get it unboxed just so over the weekend I can start thinking in my brain about what I'm going to do, because when you want to review something, you need to look at it and you need to start thinking about what process you're going to go through. so over the weekend I can start thinking, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna need the following models to do test prints with. So I need to go and find some nice models to test print on it that it will find challenging or easy and stuff like that. So yes. Your sleep schedule is not dictated by yourself. Yeah, understandable. Yeah. Oh, I see. Interesting. Weird. You switched on the power supply and the capture card threw a wobbly. Odd. Anyone else see that? We're still live, right? Did you watch the video you linked in exclusive? I'm going to say no because I'm not sure. That's happened each time. Oh, I just haven't spotted it. Interesting. Regarding what, JD? I'll just quickly open Discord on my phone to check what that was.
Interesting.
Oh, I seem to remember that you posted something about everything you need to know about resin printing at some point, didn't you? I'd forgotten about that. I will look back and look that up, though, yes.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
I see why this overclock may be failing.
Did you have it? Was it still on a high clock?
It was still set to 53 times multiplier, which is what we had under the freezer.
Oh, my God.
So I was like, no wonder it keeps randomly failing.
Because we were trying to run this poor 4th gen i7 at 5.3 gigahertz. I see. You just bought your first 3D printer and Ender 3 V2. Yeah, Ender 3 is a great place to start. So yes. It temp blips out and then it's fine again. Yeah, that's it's because we've got a bit too much on these. Oh no, they're on separate sockets. I don't know. Whatever. Cool. All right. That seems to be working. Do you have any intentions for this, or is that as far as you wanted to go? Yeah, fair enough. Cool. All right.
The ILM seems to work.
Yeah, that's good then. So the ILM works. So we've now got a CPU mount that works and the memory works. So now all this needs is cooling, and we're good to start doing runs on it.
Yeah, at some point when we've got the time to run.
Yeah.
We'll stick it on like the Noctua or something and just prove kind of it all actually functions and runs an OS and stuff.
Yeah. Very well. Cool.
Get upright.
Yeah.
Hacking. Who put this in this box?
Good. Circuit's probably overloaded. I don't think it's overloaded, but there are a lot of devices on here, and
it could be just a weird ground loop thing.
It's also just inrush from the power supply as well, which can cause things to do weird things. So yeah. Doesn't matter. Right. Why are the older CPUs popular still? Just simply because they're fun to overclock. It's like
it's also just because I picked this stuff up for free.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like if you talk to a lot of car enthusiasts will tell you that if you want to tune or go like banger racing or something like that, cheap engines and cheap cars are a lot more entertaining because it's a lot funnier to get a ridiculous amount of power out of a cheap engine and tear ass around a track, blow it up, and then rebuild it again for pennies than it is to buy a Porsche, ding it on the track, and then have lost £500,000. You know, and it's kind of the same with overclocking. It's, you know, we've slowly been accumulating this stuff cheap or free, and it's just very funny to just make old hardware scream, you know. So yeah.
Yeah. It's also a case of, for this stuff, part of the issue is just the fact of we've never had the thermal capacity.
Yeah, like it's also like, you know, Night Fusion's sending in his 14th gen Intel motherboard because he's bricked it on a BIOS update. He had a power cut, so it wasn't his fault. And he did say, "Oh, do you want to do some overclocking on it?" And I said, "Honestly, not particularly. Appreciate the offer, but like, if we want to start overclocking that, it's just like, awesome. That's a CPU that's going to start sucking down 500 watts when we overclock it.
Yeah.
How the hell are we going to cool that?
Yeah.
Like, how do you even start? I don't have anything in the shop that can cool it at stock right now, let alone overclocked.
We just put the custom
oh yeah,
loop
that's
on
true.
it.
I forgot we had the custom loop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've had the custom loop doing 600 watts of cooling, haven't we? So yeah.
Yeah, between a CPU and GPU.
Yeah. So yeah, that's true. I'd forgotten about that. I mean, yeah. If you want to do, well, do you have any interest in doing that?
I mean, yeah, we'll give it a go.
Yeah. I mean, while we've got it, yeah. I mean, I almost feel like we should do that just for practice as well, because I do want more practice at just doing overclocking streams. Because just so we can practice the format, I think.
Yeah, a bit.
Because, yeah, all right, yeah.
Somewhat work out what we're doing.
Yeah, understandable.
Do we still have any cider left in the selector armor that needs finishing?
We've got... There's
not that stuff, because obviously we know what that stuff is. Have
yeah.
you got any other random bits?
I think we're out of randos. I think the only thing we've got left, there's a couple in the fridge.
It's a fire extinguisher.
Yeah. There is another cider in the fridge, so an extra one of those does exist. There's a Copperberg Sweet Vintage, if you want to...
Oh...
If you
can't remember if that was the one that was approximately awful.
If you want to commit crime, I'm willing to commit crimes and try and drink that.
I'll give it a go, but I can't remember if it was absolutely awful.
I think it's going to be atrocious.
No, it's the pear one. It wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't that one.
Yeah, but also it's Copperberg, so it's going to be awful.
I thought it was fine. It wasn't good cider. It wasn't good perry, but it was like consumable by humans.
I'll drink it and be like, oh, I can drink this.
Whereas their apple one, I don't classify as consumable by humans.
Oh, I see. It was actually like, I can't drink this.
Yeah, it made me ill.
Ah, yes, fair enough. Yeah. All right, well, we've got that. There's an alcohol-free mixed fruit as well, so that exists.
As I said, it's the Graham cider.
Yeah. There's red wine, 2 bottles of.
Red wine.
And if you want to be really classy, we've still got a couple of cans of the Blackthorn as well.
What? So, why were there cans of Blackthorn?
Because someone sent us a crate of Blackthorn.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been working my way through that. So yeah. And the Blackthorn is, I don't want to say it's premium, but again, I find it drinkable. It's just, it's standard plonk kind of thing. Is that another one of the sodding Norton things? Yeah. Where is that Norton paperwork? Bin. Good. Yeah. Throw that in the bin as well. So we've thrown away all the Norton stuff. Yeah. Caradog found it all on the shelf and started looking. If you
want a Norton code, try and decode this.
Yeah. Caradog found all the Norton stuff you brought in, and I saw him flicking through it, and I'm like, why is that still here? Why do we still have this? Throw it away. So yeah.
Why are you here? What are you?
Yeah.
There isn't a wireless... What? Oh, no. It's asking to connect a keyboard. I thought it was saying we are connecting to a keyboard.
However, it has actually finished the data transfer, which is nice, so I'll probably just switch that off in a minute. Good. All right.
Did you keep the STL files for these?
Yes. Cool. I should have done, because I'm trying to make a point of keeping all of my 3D printed stuff, both the STLs and the G-code files, on hand, just so I can do reprints. And if something works, I'm trying to keep the G-code file, so if I break it, I've got the G-code file that did the previous successful print, and without having to do any messing about or slicing, I can just go print me another one.
Yeah, and the G code is actually what the printer prints.
Correct.
From. It is the sliced model.
The STL is the 3D model export. Yeah. And the STL is like a PDF, but for a 3D model. In a sense of you can't edit it, but you can look at it kind of thing. And then you put the STL into the slicer, and that converts it to G code, which is the instructions for the printer. And a lot of the time when you 3D print stuff, it's not uncommon to require 1 or 2 attempts before you get it working in a way that's satisfactory. So if you have something that you might want again, it's worth keeping the G-code file that actually worked, so you don't have to figure that out a second time, especially if you had to fiddle around the sizes, because 3D printing is not an exact science. You can dial in millimeter accuracy, it doesn't print millimeter accuracy. So
yeah, you kind of get stuck between.
Yeah,
'cause it was what we were finding with the ILMs.
Yeah,
was the exact millimeter height of an object was changing dependent on the print thickness by an amount different to the amount of the print thickness.
Yes.
Because of the number of layers it could do or not do.
Yeah. G-code is only for that model of printer. Yes, this is true, but yeah, on the assumption that I'm using the same printer. It's not something you distribute, but yeah.
Can you get another printer and print it? So you've got an Ender 5?
Yeah.
So if you got a second Ender 5, could you print using the same code?
Yes. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
It is not device specific, it is group of device specific.
Correct.
Yeah.
Although, interestingly, I'd be interested to know how far that goes, because I think the G-code is reasonably universal. There are printer-specific setup instructions at the beginning and end of the G-code.
Yeah.
And also, I think the G-code does need to make some assumptions. Like, for example, the G-code will be made with the knowledge that your printer can move in X dimensions. So if you had a printer that, for example, could not do a specific movement for whatever reason because of the way its orientation works, a G-code might not work on that. Because, like, for example, I think the printer's firmware actually figures out most of it. Because, for example, the big difference between the Ender 3 and the Ender 5, the Ender 3, the print head can move left and right, but it moves in the Y dimension, but not the X dimension. It actually moves the print bed in the X dimension instead. However, I think the G-code would be the same, and the printer firmware would just know that an X move means move the bed instead of the head.
Yeah,
you know.
okay.
But because the printer can have different setups, I think that's why certain G-code might not be compatible. Because I don't know, like maybe someone can tell me there might be certain moves that certain printers just are not capable of doing that the G-code has to account for. But yeah, however, ultimately this is why everyone slices their own stuff anyway. It's why no one actually distributes G-code files, because you just slice it yourself. Anyway, right, going through thing, blah, blah, blah. How much was that MacBook Air rehousing? The cost of parts was about 240. The cost of parts was 250, and I think I charged about 330, 340, something like that. So yeah, I had a reasonable margin built into that because it was still economic to do, and I always have a reasonable margin built in if there is a screen involved, because the screen alone was like 200 quid, and that's cheap for a MacBook. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get a big box and put it on the bench.
Very well.
Oh, it's a heavy boy. It's a heavy boy. Ugh.
Be gone.
I don't know why I put this up here, because now I'm immediately going to put it on the floor. But before I do that, I'm just going to grab a cider.
Oh, yes. Pull at every...
I see. Oh yeah, I'm just thinking, is this going to have any details on that I don't want to reveal? But no, it's only got my information and somewhere in China. Probably somewhere in China. I don't know, actually.
I mean, that looks reasonably Chinese.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's true, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Guck.
Screen is not cracked, still working. No, the screen was busted, that's why I replaced it. Otherwise I wouldn't have replaced it.
What? Guck for the attention of Gary. I see. There's someone else's address on here.
Oh yeah. because that's just at the top as well. Maybe that's care of. Maybe that's like a UK.
Forder.
Yeah.
If someone manages to get that address off of that camera at this distance, specifically located in your kitchen,
then you'll be very proud of your camera. Oh, okay.
And YouTube's compression.
Yes.
It's a Wi-Fi printer.
Yeah, that's.
Can I 3D print the Wi-Fi?
I can 3D print your Wi-Fi cable. Right. Right, this is an unboxing stream now, everyone. What's in there? What do we got?
You have...
Oh, that's what makes it Wi-Fi.
Huh.
That's still pretty... It's a cheap Wi-Fi USB adapter. That is the GK2 official Wi-Fi adapter, apparently. But on the flip side, it's like, you know what? That's fair enough. If you can just plug that in and it recognizes it, then cool.
You have special official leveling paper.
Oh, okay, thanks.
You have Slicer user guide.
That's a passable looking power lead. That doesn't look like a death trap. However, I am going to see if it has a real fuse in it.
You choose the resin type. You generate some points.
What's in the box? A 3D printer.
You manually edit.
Yes, it does have a fuse in it.
Is it a real fuse?
Well, it looks like a real fuse.
Or is it just sand?
Conductive sand, yeah, metal filings, yeah. That can stay in there. Right, what is in here?
I see.
Right, that is, rubber gloves.
And party pants.
There's a flash drive. That's probably got firmware and stuff on it. There's another Wi-Fi adapter. Interesting. I obviously didn't realise that it already had one.
Le Dongle.
Yep.
FEP film.
Tools for assembly, including a knockoff Wera screwdriver. Although I guess Wera don't own green and black, so you know.
It's the same brand as the one you've got over there.
I was just thinking that actually. I'm sure I've seen that around.
Oh, a big scraper.
Yeah, that's a big heavy scraper as well. 4 big heavy scraping things. Possibly
a flash drive full of viruses and fairies.
You say that. I had a customer in today who had bought a TV from a local TV shop. I can't remember what brand they said it was, but it was supposed to be, you know, a European brand. Although obviously everything is made in China anyway, so that's neither here nor there. But bought a smart TV, and they actually had an issue where their internet provider called them up saying, hey, your bandwidth is through the roof, like hundreds of gigs in a month. And the smart TV had a virus on it that was using bandwidth. It was obviously part of the botnet or something like that. So yeah. So and like this is something that I've heard of as a thing,
What?
but I encountered a customer who said, but yeah, it was actually
Was this like
actually real?
Xiaojing Zhouling brand TV?
Oh, it was some off-brand that I didn't recognise, like a Barry and Watford or something. I don't know. Do you recognise who that might be? Which is why it's funny.
No!
Okay,
I
yeah.
just like the idea of Barry and Watford, if you smash it together, does very much sound like
It sounds
a
plausible,
hi-fi
doesn't
brand.
it? Yeah. I've got some coffee filters. I don't know what those are.
They don't look like very good coffee.
Yeah, they're
filters.
obviously some kind of filters. I can't make those fold
They're
now.
face masks.
They don't look like very good face masks.
They're for your plague mask.
Yeah. Right. Nope, that's not going to work. Okay, take out that card. Trying to figure out how much I'm pulling out here. Ah, there we go. Whew. Right, fully pre-assembled.
Was that... Were you sent 2 power cables?
No, I put it back in.
Okay.
So yeah, could you move that, because I'm going to pick this up and put it there.
Da, 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 da.
Oh boy. Right, here we go.
Remember, bend from the lower back in a jerking, twisting motion.
Don't make me laugh while I'm trying to lift this.
Ah. I see.
I can go with the accessories.
I still want to read the brand name as though it's French. Just like La Information. Oh,
Oops.
that is the cheapest Wong Lo fan.
Oh, it is a bit, isn't it? Yeah. I'm sure that bearing
Well,
will fail in a week.
Oh no,
it's fine.
I thought
Yeah.
it buzzed as you spun it, and I was just like,
Yeah.
that's a bad start.
At least it's a basic fan though, so like if the bearing
Yeah.
does fail in a month, you can just put another fan in there. Or
I will
quite
now
one or something.
upgrade to a Noctua.
I was going to say, time for Noctua, yeah.
My 3D printer fan failed, and I upgraded it to a Noctua. You won't believe what happened. Ooh, green.
Does that go halfway? No.
It's not Dutch. What? Going Dutch?
I do not understand this reference. Right, we've got air purification active thing. Oh, that's the air filter. Oh, interesting. That obviously just clips into the back.
Activated carbon.
Yeah, that obviously, that's a module that is, because the fan at the back has got a big cutout, so obviously that's going to go just slot into the back, and after a certain amount of hours use, you just pull it out and put another one in. So
That's good.
Yeah. Part of the accessories. Right, this has got more stuff in.
Ah, fibers.
That must be the build plate or something. Put that down there.
I am not cheap. What? Cheap
Tat machine to make more tat. Yes! I'm going to print so many anime girls, and it's going to be great.
I'm so confused. What am I being called out for being cheap or not cheap?
Okay.
I don't know. Why are you?
Right, is the motor free? It is not. Okay, so that looks like a... Oh, that's kind of neat. So there's like a plastic tank at the bottom, and it looks like you can put this cover on when you're not using it to stop like evaporation and stuff. And also, I'm guessing that comes out actually.
Oh, what, like the entire tray?
Yeah, so like you can...
So you can slosh your resin around.
Yeah, there's obviously a knack to that, but obviously that can come out, and you can just have multiple tanks with... So you don't have to drain the resin out of it. And is my guess, because it's got a little label on for what's in there, so you could put that to one side and then put another one that's already got some other resin in there or something. I'm guessing wildly, but yeah. Okay, so interesting. So I have no knowledge on how these things actually work. This is just this is the discovery. This is me just opening it and going, I see. And this is why I kind of wanted to do this. This is why I didn't say this for the video, because like there's no point in me trying to record this on video because I have no idea what I'm dealing with here. So like you wouldn't get useful content out of this. But yeah.
Which is why I saved it all for you.
Yeah, well, you know, this is the first look. This is the first step of us just looking at it and going, what the hell is this thing, you know?
Oh, the anime.
Yeah. If only someone sent you a video on how resin printing works. Look, JD, when you sent me that video, I didn't even know if I was getting it yet. They actually dispatched this real quick. From the point where the email conversation got to the position of, okay, yes, we are sending you this, it showed up in like a week. And like I was expecting it to be a couple of weeks minimum.
Overnight pots.
From Japina, yeah. So yeah, it arrived a lot sooner than I expected, which is why I've kind of been caught out by it. But yeah, also though I wanted to just open it up and start looking at it so I could strike while the iron's hot. So yeah, it's got a real nice looking screen on it. Oh, that's a power button, I'm guessing. And
does it meet the push test?
It does. That's a heckin' anti-vandal switch. Feel that. It feels great.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And it's not two stage. It's two position, so it locks.
Yes. Yeah. So it's probably an actual real power switch, not a soft power switch.
Yes.
So yeah. There's a USB port on the back as well, so you can put the wireless adapter in the back instead of having it hang out the front. For a moment, I was like, "Oh, does the wireless adapter just hang off the front? That's kind of crap."
I assume that's for your pen drive.
Yeah, exactly. However, there is actually a USB port at the back, so
for your NITAC.
Yeah. Cool. Be a great place to store cider. Do not.
I go to 3D print with cider.
Could the green be laser protection? Quite possible, because obviously it's using a thing that cures the thing. But like I say, I have done no research thus far, so I don't actually know.
What does that say on the warning?
Beware of crushing hand.
Okay.
So yeah, that bit moves up and down, so obviously don't stick your hand under it when it's moving.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. UV protection. Yeah, that's fair. Cappuccino machine. Cool. Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's pretty solidly built. And like that.
And also, it doesn't feel like the cheapest China special.
Yeah, it's actually
It feels like it's been made to be cheap without being the cheapest China special that will fall apart.
Well, as I say, the retail on this, I need to look it up, but I think the retail on this thing was about $800 US.
Oh yeah, that doesn't mean it still can't be cheap for what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the same as saying because a pallet 4090 costs £2,000, it's, nicely made.
I see you. Well, yeah, I was going to say you are an ex-pallet fan. Well, are you still a pallet fanboy?
I am. Whichever manufacturer is the cheapest for the tier of card I wish to purchase.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
Unless I'm buying an A&D card, and then I will only buy Power Color or Sapphire.
I thought you were going to say I'm a fanboy of whatever I currently have in my computer. Whatever I own is the best.
No, screw
I was going
MSI.
to say you're one of those. Yeah.
Screw MSI.
So yes. Can you print from SolidWorks? Yeah. I haven't looked at how you slice for resin printers yet. I don't know if you can slice for resin printers in the same way that you slice for FDM.
If I tell you here,
I was going to say
you open the slicer, then select your STL file.
However, yes, it accepts an STL file. So yeah, fundamentally, you can print from anything that can export as an STL, and any kind of 3D design software can do that.
Is STL like RTF is to text documents?
Yeah,
in the sense of it's the open document format of 3D models.
Yeah, I believe it's license free. However, it's stereolithography. Yeah, I think it's stereolithography it stands for. But fundamentally, it is the most basic representation of a 3D model.
Good heavens. So, if this is true, you can in theory print in 0.03 of a millimeter.
Yeah, with resin printers, they advertise 4K resolution and 8K resolution. So like, I'm not sure what that means because obviously that is like pixel dimensions, not real dimensions. But these things can do crazy detail, which is why resin printing is interesting versus FDM. Resin printers are expensive, messy, and complicated compared to FDM. However, they can do detail that an FDM printer can't dream of. So that's the trade-off, and that's why, because Creality did contact me and say, we've got a new 3D printer that we want to send you, but it was another FDM printer, and I basically said words to the effect of, I don't care, I already have a nice FDM printer from you guys, and I've got
what else does it do?
Yeah, it's just newer and nicer, and it had an enclosure and stuff, and I'm like,
that's cool.
There's not a doubt in my mind that it was a nicer printer, but I just didn't really have anything more to say about it. because of like I'm not a 3D printing channel. Whereas I wanted to look at a resin printer because now I can make a video about resin 3D printing and how it compares to FDM printing and why and which one you should think about buying if you're thinking of getting into 3D printing.
Yes.
You know, if you want to print off weird prototype brackets and stuff like that, buy an FDM printer. But if you want to print anime girls, you want a resin printer. You know, that's kind of the bottom line here. Or if anime girls isn't your thing, you can print your Warhammer Orc boys. You wouldn't download an Orc boy, but you would, and you will, because Games Workshop can do one. So
you wouldn't download your Nintendo.
Yes.
Ah, yes. Please rotate the model angle. Do not flat on the build plate.
Yeah. Oh, Chris says 4K refers to the pixel res of the LCD that is used along with the UV light to cure. That makes sense, yeah. Yeah, that'll be the screen at the bottom, yeah. So, okay, so my understanding then is that there's an LCD screen at the bottom with no backing on it. So the LCD shows a two-dimensional slice of the model, and then you shine UV light through, and that will cure the resin on the negative. Then it lifts up by a bit and does that again, and then it lifts up and does that again, and the model rises up out of the resin. So that's how it's doing it. Yeah, I thought it did it with lasers or something like that. But yeah, having an LCD at the bottom that is showing a negative image of the slice, that makes sense. That would be a very simple way of doing that. So yeah.
If you do not tilt your degrees, you will have a problem with the shrinkage deformation by excessive area.
I see. Understandable. Have a shrunk day, I guess. Where did I just put down my thing? Over here. Right. Cool. Right. Was
Do
there
you
anything
have
else?
resin?
I was about to say they were going to send me resin, but I've just noticed that we don't have any resin. I don't think they sent me any resin.
Is it possible that it's coming separately?
That is, I think this is the build plate, because that is going to click on. This is going to click onto the thing in the center, and that looks like a heated bed or something like that. And then, so that's the bit that's going to go wing as it prints.
There is a Discord server.
Oh, neat. I should probably jump in there.
And there is also something called Chitu Box.
Okay.
And you have a license serial number for your Chitu Box.
I wonder if that's the slicing software.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, this being Wi-Fi attached, there will obviously be software so you can actually have a web interface to control it in a similar way that I've got a web interface for the Sonic pad for the Creality. Oh yeah. Chat's confirmed. Chitu is a slicer. Yeah.
Simple at every step.
Yeah. But yes, no, it appears that I don't have any resin, which is a bit disappointing because they did say they were sending me some. I'm not heartbroken because I don't mind buying consumables. They sent me a free printer. But yeah, I'll have to get that before I can start using it, which is a bit of a pain. That much being said, I wasn't expecting to fire this thing up before this weekend anyway. So yeah, I'll just have to get some on order.
Oh, is this a GK2 10.3 inch?
Yes, that sounds. It is a GK2, so I'm assuming that it's the 10.
It sounds like you have the 8K resolution.
This is the fancy one, yeah. There's a GK1 and a GK2.
Yes, this sounds like the fancy one.
Yeah, I believe they've sent me. I don't know if this is their flagship. If it's not their flagship, it's definitely their high-end model, is my understanding. They did send me the nice one. So,
apparently, it's possible to buy flexible resin.
Yeah, that makes sense because you can get flexible PLA for an FDM. Because I've seen people print. You can print like bracelets that are 3D printed but squishable and stuff, and I'm like, that's kind of cool.
What?
Yeah, I kind of want to get some. Like, I don't have any use for it, but I kind of want to do that just so you can make like
print your own snap bracelets.
Yeah, well, not a snap bracelet, but just like a bracelet that just like it stretches just enough to stretch on and off, and it's just squishable, which is just kind of cool.
You're my friend now.
Yeah.
Hello, pal world.
So yeah, I kind of want to get there. I guess you could do that on the resin as well, but yeah. Okay, so I need to get some resin. So I'll probably have to invest a bit more in that. But yeah, okay, that's that. I'm going to have a look at the wash and cure box. So I'm going to put this to one side. Whoop. Best done in a direct drive. Yeah, that makes sense actually. Thankfully, I have a direct drive FDM, so yeah.
What is best done? Oh, what, the flexible stuff?
Yes. So again, just for context for people, on FDM printing, so a filament 3D printer like my Ender 5, direct drive refers to how the filament is fed into the print head. If you have the two main methods are reverse Bowden or direct drive. Direct drive means that the filament goes into the head and there is actually a cog, grip and drive mechanism in the head that pulls the filament in and pushes it through the extruder. Reverse Bowden is when the drive mechanism is on the frame of the printer and is having to push the filament all the way through a tube to the head. And because there is a long distance to have compression and tension there, this is considered to be less accurate, and you can have there's less consistency in the feed of the filament. However, this takes weight and complexity out of the print head, so it's a trade-off. Theoretically, because you're taking weight and complexity out of the print head, that means the print head can move faster, so you can print faster.
But less accurate.
But less accurate prints. So, however, that's one of the reasons why the Ender 5 S Pro, that's what makes that one an S Pro instead of just an Ender 5. It has a newer head on it that has, based on my understanding, a very good direct drive system on it, which means that it is high-speed direct drive and can still print accurately, kind of thing. That's why the Ender 5 S1 was actually quite a good one. So yes. Print me a Stretch Armstrong. You can also buy wax resins for casting. Fair enough.
Oh.
Reverse tube seems to have a few mil here and there. Yeah. So like if you had a flexible, if you're trying to use a flexible plastic in your FDM, reverse Bowden is going to be terrible because there's going to be so much stretch and squish in the actual filament tube.
Yeah.
Again, I guess it then depends on the complexity of the model. A simple model is going to just be feeding fairly constantly, so you're not going to have a problem. But very complex models, there's a lot of stopping and starting of the filament, and you see it when the printer is running. You can see the filament spool will either, certain areas it will be moving very smoothly as it just pours it out, and then there are certain times where it's constantly going and it's just jerking around as it's constantly tugging on the filament. And like if you have a stretchy filament, you're going to have a bad time. So yeah. Right, build plate, air filter. I'm going to put this all over here. These two printers are going to look really smart on that bench. I'm really happy. That's packaging, so I'll put that there for now. And
it will be there next week.
You'll be there next week.
I mean, there probably will be.
And I'm thankful for it.
Someone has to be.
Yeah. The audience certainly isn't. All right. And now,
by the power of buying two of them. No? Okay.
Well, I didn't buy two of them, but yes, I still appreciate that joke, though.
Ka-chow! With the little rusties.
Do these SL's resin printers need to be on an ultra-stable platform? I don't know, actually. How sensitive are they? Like the FDM printer, I've been running the Ender 5 on a table that is certainly got some wobble to it, and it's been okay. You know, these tables that we've got here aren't very good. They have a decent amount of wobble on it. And the Ender 5 has been okay, but a more stable platform is better. But a resin printer, because it's printing from what is essentially liquid, I don't know how much more sensitive they are. I'll be putting it on a more stable bench. So I'm moving them to a bench that does not wobble. So I won't have a problem, but yeah, I don't know if anyone can confirm. They're pretty stable anywhere within reason. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So yeah, you don't need to worry too much, but obviously... Oh, what happened? Oh, that I must have just put it on the floor and there was a screw on the floor. There was just a screw in the side of the box, yeah. That's obviously where I've just plonked the box down on the floor and there was just a screw there.
I thought it was an odd packing method where they'd screwed it to the box.
Yeah. So as you guys can see, this is an Anycubic Wash and Cure 3. So Anycubic do also make printers and stuff. I've had no communication with them at all. So this was the cheapest one on Amazon, basically, which is why I bought it. Yeah. Creality do also do a wash and cure thing, and part of me wanted to get more Creality kit just to have more matching brands, but I didn't. I wanted, because this is an accessory for another review, I wanted to just pick another brand at random, so I could be like, this is unbiased. I've not worked with Anycubic before. There's no messaging in here at all. Whereas because the last 3D printer I did was a Creality one, I didn't want to be like, I don't know if that's weird or not.
Oh, yeah.
What? Oh. Oh, yeah. That must be deliberate. That has to be deliberate.
I love it. I'm packing.
K1 shakes around quite a bit, going flat out. What's the K1? Is that an FDM?
What does FDM stand for? Other than filament something?
I think it's filament deposition method or something like that. So yeah.
And I keep thinking that FDM is like an acronym for something else, and I'm like, I can't think of what it is. And I'm like, this is probably something to do with, you know, something in Star Trek or something.
I mean, I haven't used the acronym. I haven't used FDM as a term very much at all up until recently, because it was only recently when I started sort of getting involved in a different kind of 3D printer that now it becomes important to actually specify what type of 3D printer you're talking about, because resin and FDM printers work in fundamentally different ways. So it's actually important to specify what kind of printer you're talking about. So yeah. Yeah. Oh, the K1 is Creality's fast FDM in an enclosed case. Oh, that might be the one that they offered me a review on, actually.
Oh, yeah. You know what I think it might be?
What?
It might be because FDM-S is a payment processor.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that would be something that you're familiar with. All right, so this thing that I'm unpacking here, this is a wash and cure station. So this thing...
It will fix your ailments.
Yeah. So there's two parts to this thing. We've got a... and I'm not fully certain how much it does and doesn't do. So there's a tank, and you fill this thing with your washing fluid, which a lot of people talk about using IPA as the wash fluid. But I've also seen briefly on Amazon, just in associated products, they also spoke about certain resins that were water washable. So I don't know what the pros and cons of that are. However,
I thought it had a little capsule with a lid.
Yeah. Oh, that's neat. It's induction. Very cool. Okay, so this is the wash butt thing, and so what you do, that goes on there, and it's got, there we go. It's got magnets on the bottom, so it can, and it's got a little stirrer at the bottom, like a stir plate. So you put your fluid in there, and then your print bed, I'm going to grab the print bed just to see if it actually... Oh, it might need the... I think it needs some of the fittings. However, I'll grab it just to see how well it works. So I have to confess, I did not double check that these would be compatible. I just kind of assumed. And I might be completely wrong because it is a big boy printer I've got here. So that goes in there. That kind of sits a bit too high, actually. That's sitting on top of the stir plate. Oh, no, it's not. No, I lie. That's fine. So here's the build plate. So you've got your model attached to the bottom of here, and then that basically you just sit that on top. I think this is too big, actually. I think the build plate is intended to fit inside, so you can put the lid on top of it. So I might have cocked up there. So it might just be that I've just got to. Yeah, I might have screwed up. You don't put the head in the washer. Oh, okay. Do you scrape it off and then you mount it on the thing and then put that in there then? Again, you can see my level of knowledge here. This is why I wanted to do this. I wanted to get stuff out and look at it and visualize it, basically. But you put that in there and the little stir plate is going to stir your washer fluid around and wash the part to get the excess resin off of it. So yeah. Yeah, personally I detach from the build plate. Okay, that's fair. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah.
So is this just a lump of metal with some clips?
Heated lump of metal, I guess. I'm assuming it is. I don't know. It's certainly a big chunk of metal. It has a metal contact there, but I don't see where... So that would obviously form one contact, but I can't see where a ground contact would be if it used one.
Through the resin?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's heated, but I might be... yeah, like I say, I did zero research, but again, that's what this is about. This is discovery.
That's why people watch me.
Well, again, that's my point. Is I say I've done no research and stuff, but that's what this is research for me. This is me unboxing stuff and looking at it and actually understanding what this stuff is and what it does. And I'm going to go and watch some videos over the weekend. So then.
And now that you've physically handled the items, you can kind of look at the thing and be like, oh, that's a so-and-so.
Yeah, and I think now I think this is why I didn't watch the video already, because people will be like, and then you get your X and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to have one of those. Whereas now I've unboxed this and looked at it, I can watch that video and he'll be like, so you'll then put this in here? And I'll be like, yes, I've got that, that's that, that's that. And if he takes out anything that I say, I don't know what that is, I can go, okay, I don't have one of those, I need to get one of those.
What is one of these? Yeah.
I'm missing that because otherwise I'd be like, does that come with the printer? Does that come with my printer? I don't know. So yeah, having looked at all this now, I can do this. I can go and figure out how to do this.
I got my jingle jangle dooble dangle.
Yep. I can spend a weekend figuring out how it all works, and during the week I can do some test prints, and then I'll be in a position where I can actually start recording footage.
It's yellow.
And yeah, well, it's got to filter out UV light. So
yeah,
okay.
But it's not green.
Oh, right, yeah, so it doesn't match. Whatever. Any cubic wanted to be unique, I guess. So, all right. So the plate is a heatsink. Ah, okay, yeah. That makes sense. What else can you wash in there with this gentle twirling action from the stirrer? Well, yeah.
Your cutlery, really inefficiently.
Unironically, there is certain stuff where you do actually kind of like want to do like an alcohol wash or something, and you're like, I don't really want to fire up the ultrasonic for this. So I can see this being used for just a parts washer as well. But yeah, so you do your parts washing, then you take that off, and there's another plate in here. Which clips onto there. So let's get that out just for posterity.
Oh, I see.
So here's my little microwavable plate that's actually plastic and not microwavable. That goes on there, and you hit the go button again. So your model is on there.
Does this fit on top with that plate on there because it goes outside the white line?
I think it'll fit on top. Yeah. So that's my model. That's going to go there. You put that on the top.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And you hit the go button. This back bit here, those dots on there, those are UV LEDs, and it's going to switch on a UV light and slowly revolve the model. And the other bit is, the reason why I liked the look of this one as well, is it also has, this is its party trick, this USB UV light. And if you've got like a little hollow bit in the middle that the UV light isn't going to catch because you've got high walls around it, it's got a USB port here, and that goes in there, and you can point that down on the inside. So you've got a little bit pointing down on the inside of the model while it revolves, and that gets all the outside of it. And then you put that on so you don't go blind from the UV light. So yeah.
My skin's feeling so crispy.
Indeed. I mean, it's going to be UVB. I can't imagine a world. Well, I don't. There's no way it's UVC.
My model has also been sterilised.
I was going to say these.
I too have been sterilised.
That's a metal LED. I think these are UVC. I think these are the death ray UV lights, which is why you have to have the shielding for it. Can anyone confirm that? Can you use UVB?
Please do not lose the shield.
Yeah. Plug it in a PC. Well, not without lighting. Well, like we could check if we get an ozone smell off of it, but
plug it into the power bank.
This is really dumb and stupid.
And please do not point it out the window.
Right, how's that? Let's move a few of these out the way. We are actually, I was going to say, we are actually going to do this in a fairly controlled manner, because if it's actually UVC, it is actually a death ray. So theoretically, if we shine this for a bit in here, there should be a ozone smell.
Is your power bank dead? No.
There we go. I'm not seeing any glow, but we're looking through shielding. So, we need something that's UV reactive. I tell you what, grab that bit of RAM stick there, because it's got a white label on it.
What?
If the white label...
Oh.
I don't know if we'll see that glow either. We're looking for something
Please
that will
unplug
fluoresce. Also, actually, does this have some kind of safety lockout? No, it does not. I legitimately want to know this, because I'd want to know if this thing actually is UVC, because like I want to know if these are death rays. That's kind of important to know what you have.
I don't think it's doing anything.
No, I don't think it's on either.
Just because the power bank didn't wake up.
No. I find it hard to believe that we wouldn't see any reaction at all.
Yeah.
Well, you say it's a gimmick Fire Phone, but the LED that's in there is a metal cased LED. And the only reason why you put a metal case on an LED is because it's UVC. That's why I'm paranoid.
Where is the actual manual?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, because that'll have massive warnings in it, won't it?
Because in theory, the manual may provide information.
Yeah. Those look like UVC LEDs.
In the curing mode, do not take off the anti-UV cover.
Yeah.
Please wear protective glasses when it is on without the cover.
See, that's the thing. If it's standard UV, you don't need to worry. UVA and UVB, I mean, you should wear goggles, but it's not like paranoia level. But yeah, UVC is actually a death ray. Maybe it's designed not to work with other USB, only in the machine.
405 nanometer. Whatever UV wavelength 405 nanometer is.
Yeah, what's 405? Someone check that.
Take out the accessories, plug in the power, turn on. Oh, perhaps it's only using USB because it's an easy connector, but it's not actually 5 volt.
Yeah, maybe. Also, it's got there are data pins, so there might be a circuit in there that's checking for a certain resistance on the data lines to signal that it's plugged into the machine, and not some idiot with a power bank. Because otherwise, yeah, there would be no shielding. Oh, UVA. Oh, yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, no, it's UVA apparently. I'm surprised that's got metal casing in it. Maybe it's just really high quality UV LEDs then. But yeah, apparently it's UVA, so no problem. UVC is much lower. Okay, that's good. Yeah. That is fine then. Also, the other thing as well is, oh no, there is an interlock. It does actually have a light sensitive interlock on the back that can tell if the shield is on or not. So yeah, that's yeah. This looks like a really well designed device. When I felt the quality of the plastic and stuff when I took it out, I was like, oh yeah, there's 90 quid right there. But this looks like a really well designed device to me. So yeah, what's up, Nikolai?
See, the thing I want to see now is I want us to plug it into power, put the sticker in the thing, and see if we can see it fluoresce through this.
Sure. Yeah. This is easy to turn on, plug in and turn on because it doesn't require any like setup per se. UVA flashlight, I would not look into it too much either. No, I mean, you don't want to step...
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah, but like, don't forget, UVA and a bit of UVB is what you'll see in nightclubs. So you can stare into UVA and UVC. You just shouldn't do it all day, every day, you know. But that's what you'll see in disco lights and stuff like that. So yeah. Ugh. Would you like some free cancer with your... No, again, that's why I wanted to know if it's UVC. This is why I was making a big deal of that, because UVC is a death ray.
The sun is a deadly laser.
It is. Okay, right, well let's put the thing in. Right, let's laser beam this 2 gigabyte RAM module.
We'll turn it into a 2.2 gigabyte RAM module.
Oh no.
Mutations!
2025 April Fool's video.
So do you need a RAM upgrade?
Ah, helps if you turn it on. Okay. FlexiCure or UV Cure. Set number of minutes, 1 minute. Oh, there it goes.
Ooh.
Yeah, oh that's
it's
very
green.
Yeah, that's very visible now it's on.
Yes.
I'm going to take the shield off. And it's like, ah! What if I... Oh, that was very easy to trick. That's very UV. Yeah, no, that's not UVC. That's UVA.
Does my finger smell like cooked pork?
Well, yeah, that's how you tell. Yeah. However, yeah, you can see that they're on through the shield. So, yeah. All right, there we go. That's the curing box, everyone. Yeah, that's surprise. That I mean, well, any interlock is any interlock is going to be reasonably easy to defeat. It's just a case of, yeah, well, don't stick your finger back there, you idiot. So yeah. Oh well. Cool. Congratulations.
Your air fryer has finished.
your RAM module has been cured.
Oh, is that
it's now DDR4, everyone. It's not.
Is that what I do if I have a virus instead of using Norton?
Yeah, it's probably just as effective, yeah. All right. Be a lot more cautious with the resin vapors rather than UV. Yes, absolutely. The actual resin printer itself, it has a built-in air filter, yeah, I will be keeping part of my review will be to see how effective that is, because yeah, it's kind of a case of like, what's the point in having a fancy enclosure and a charcoal activated air filter if you still have to well ventilate the room, kind of thing. If you need room ventilation, then you're paying a lot for nothing, kind of, you know, that's my opinion there. So I will be interested in the efficacy of that. But yes. Very good. All right. Well, that's the unboxing of the toys. I don't think there's much more to look at there. I need to go and watch some videos about 3D resin printing. And then just during the week...
Did you know Ben Eater has a video on?
Shut up! But seriously, Ben Eater's videos are really good. People should watch them. It's still my fixation, just because he's so good. But yeah.
Do you know if you Google search 6502, the first result is Ben Eater's video?
Not surprised. Yeah, he's got a lot of people into the subject, which is great, you know. Good. Coffee time? No, I'm on cider now. So,
no,
yeah.
he means assembly.
Yes. So, right, I think I'm going to chuck all of this, going to put all of this to one side now because, yeah, I need to go and do research then. During the week, I will, I need to buy some resin, but during the week, I'll fire it all up and try and do some 3D prints and start doing some tests. And if you're cool and you're in the exclusive chat room of the Discord,
you'll see
then
my Hatsune
Miku.
Yeah, that one.
You clod.
Yeah. Yeah, I messed up and was thinking of someone else whose name has just left my mind.
Hatsune Miku's old hat now. It's all about the VTubers.
Yes. I was thinking of the one about that one from that one anime about the high school.
Hololive or something like that, yeah. There's a lot of those, so that doesn't narrow it down much.
You know, that one thing. Yeah.
I'm making a lot of I'm making a lot of anime girl jokes, but I'm not actually into anime girls anyway, so, you know.
Ha! That's where I fooled you all. I'm not even into women.
Or am I? Anyway,
right. Moving swiftly on.
Right. I want to make a whole string of jokes, but that starts taking us down very dangerous paths. So let's move on swiftly. I'm going to pack this away, and I'm going to play with it during the week. I will post my progress in the exclusive room on Discord. So if people are interested, you can see how I'm getting on with it. So yeah.
So give me your Bezo bucks.
Yes, that as well. But yeah, I'm really interested in 3D printing at the moment. The actual title topic of the video today about Caradog's coffee distribution machine was Caradog is super into making coffee at the moment, and we 3D printed a coffee distributor.
So would it be possible to print something like this on the resin printer?
I'd imagine so. Although I don't know how well it works with interlocking parts like that. Well, actually, we've got a bunch of people who seem to know about this stuff. You know, Nikolai is here, and also like Chris and JD and possible someone else sounded knowledgeable.
Look at that, JD. You're told to sound knowledgeable.
See, I can't remember names very well, but the bit that I put into my head while I'm live is not who is the person who knows what they're talking about, but just simply that there is someone who knows what they're talking about in chat, so I can actually ask questions. So yeah. Look forward to how I get on with the resin printing. Yeah, thanks, Nikolai. Yeah. Nikolai is friend of the channel and did the Two Guys Talk Tech signs and the Adamant IT signs and stuff like that. They're very cool. So yeah.
Which we then upgraded.
Indeed.
With battery power.
Yeah, I need to do further work on those to actually like put a switch on it. I'm actually scared to charge it because I can't remember if I'm supposed to charge it with that plug connected or disconnected. I legitimately can't remember how I wired it up. So
why is the light still on?
Residual power.
Okay.
That's also why I'm scared to plug it in and charge it, because I can't remember how I wired it up.
You're like, what did I do? Which crimes did I commit?
It made sense at the time. I knew what I was doing, but also I was drinking. So, so yes, like I can't remember if that is direct in line with the battery or what. I think that is direct in line with the battery, so that should be plugged in order to engage the battery. So I'd need to connect those connectors and then plug in the USB cable to charge it. But whatever.
The question was, can you print interlocking parts?
Yes.
Or specifically interlocking gears on a resin printer?
Yeah. I'll get the bench cam just so we can show this thing off, because I think it's cool.
I think how smooth that is quite impressive, given that there was no refinement.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it? Yeah. And like the top and bottom is a little bit rough, but you could sand that if you cared. What the fuck? Oh, I see. Yeah. I was very confused as to what the leg was catching on then.
How do straight lines work?
Cool. So, get the PC up. Yeah, we're gonna look at the PC in a sec. I just want to quickly do this just to round up the 3D printing stuff, and then we're gonna look at that PC. Because how are we doing for time? We're just coming up to 2 hours. So yeah, we got time. We got time. That PC will take about half an hour. Kirsty smile? No? Okay. Caradog's concentrating. Caratrating. That didn't work. Forget
Please
I said
stop.
anything. Exit the universe. If you sound resin, wear a mask. Yeah, for reals. Right, turn off preview. Right, bench cam. Thanks, Caradog. Right, let's position this. Right, nudge the left side up. And look that way a bit. And zoom. There we go, that'll do. Why do you hate me? Please stop. All right. So yeah, this was a cool 3D printing widget, and so these captive gears were printed in situ. This was not assembled. This was how it was printed, and it all turns inside. This is going to be a coffee distributor. Caradog, what is this going to do? What is this going to do when we've actually assembled it?
What it is for is on an espresso shot, when you have ground the coffee and put it into your filter and head, it will be in a pile and it may not be evenly distributed. So you will then use one of these tools to redistribute the coffee so it is evenly spread across the entire bed.
Wow, those are really fine. Are those going to be strong enough?
I don't know.
I guess. So,
What size is that?
oh, are they different sizes in here?
Yes.
Ah, I see. I just grabbed one.
There should be 5 sizes, I believe.
Oh yes, these end ones look much thicker.
Yes, there's a 0.125, a 0.2, a 0.25, a 0.3, a 0.35 and a 0.4.
I see.
And we desire the 0.4.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. That looks like the thickest boys.
So yes, I'm going to take that and then go... So yes, basically it takes these, which are acupuncture needles, and it will stir the coffee around with these. By the power of buying 2 of them,
Yes.
here's what a commercial product looks like.
Yeah. And
They're literally just in this handle.
yeah. Oh yeah, those ones are fairly flexible as well, aren't they?
Yeah. And then it's just that. And as you can just about see from the box,
That's what you do with it. Yeah.
you literally stir that around and it evenly distributes it around there. The intention is to avoid having lumps and thus avoid channeling, which causes over-extraction or localized over-extraction, which will lead to a bitter, hollow taste.
Right. So I'm gonna have a poke at this a sec.
These holes, they're clogged.
So so we've got to poke these through the holes, and however the other ends were narrower, and I think they closed up in the print. So we need to do a little bit of digging just to see if we can push that through. might have to sacrifice one of the needles in order to do this. Right, I had this nicely lined up and then you moved it. So
I'm also going to do that.
I'm going to do this. But yeah, the reason why I wanted to finish this off was just because I think this is a really cool 3D print. And I just wanted to show it off as an example of things. Right, that hole is clogged, but I tell you what I've got that might solve this. Whoops, is a knocked over stool.
I have a knife.
I'm going to try, I've got a much thicker one. No, that one's not much thicker after all.
Have you got the stabby thing from your solder extractor?
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of. This guy I think is a bit stronger.
The other thing I was going to say is, could you heat the stabby thing?
That would work, yeah, or we could heat this, that would also work.
Yeah.
Man, this is where just a lighter would work.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, just heat that.
Yeah, that would work like a treat, but I don't have one to hand. That's...
Would poking a thinner one through?
I don't think so, because the thin ones bend too easily. Okay, this is going to be...
Was there actually no hole?
There, it looks like there was. However, now I should have poked one of these before the stream. I kind of just thought they were just going to push through, but now I've actually tried to feel that out. I'm like, oh, that's significantly harder than I was expecting it to be. This is not the this might not be the 5-minute job that I was expecting. So might have to abandon this bit on stream just because I wasn't expecting this to actually be difficult. Oh.
Apparently I killed JD's YouTube.
I see.
I am the winner.
Right, so that's...
What's my favourite brand of coffee? I haven't got that far yet. I'm working out all the bits of equipment and stuff.
Yeah, you've been
I'm just
working
playing
on
around with stuff.
Yeah, you're working on your method more than your brand at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, and I basically just bought like the cheapest coffee that I could find in volume, just to mess around with like grind settings and extraction times and things, just to kind of get the skills down without spending huge amounts of money, and then look to buy more expensive coffee, basically.
Oh, there's no way those top bits are going to go in.
Another reason not to get cornered at a party by Caradog, the coffee lesson.
Oh.
Have you heard the tale of a WDT tool? It's not a tale that Costa would tell you.
Ow.
Do you just stab it into you?
Slightly. In a really weird way, though. I stabbed it against my nail, but I didn't feel any pain, and I'm like, what did I just stab there? Right, we can
that's kind of how acupuncture works. You just stab random bits and
rather you than me.
Suddenly you get conniptions.
My conniptions have conniptions. Oh. Right, so
I have Bluetooth conniptions now.
in the assembly video for this, he pushed this through, and some of the handle section, some of the thick handle section would actually push through into there to hold it in place. That hole is not big enough for that. So I wonder if I can widen that a little bit. Yeah, I think this might require some fettling to actually get it to the position where it needs to be, in which case we're not actually going to be able to get this going. We could test fit the little bearings that go though, so let's have a quick look at those. I have a suspicion we might have to do this off camera because it requires more fettling, basically. Do
you actually have a small Dremel drill?
I don't think I've got anything that small at the moment. I'll have a check in a minute, but I don't think I've got anything that's small enough for this.
Oh, that's a strange experience.
Got some tiny little ball bearings here. Huh. What,
just because it's so small. And it's a piece of metal just going boing.
Right, so these bearings push fit into there. Oh, those don't... Yeah, that's not going in. That's just a little bit too big for that. Although actually that'll still work because they don't need to be a tight fit. Yeah, we actually want those to be able... Yeah, that's okay. So that would go in there. Then...
I use Levenza creme de la Roma beans.
Right,
yes.
So then that would go on there. If nothing else, I can just put these screws in here and then show how the turning mechanism works, and then you can imagine for yourself how the stirrer would work. And like, at that point, I'd be satisfied of going, look, this whole thing was 3D printed and it's got a big turning mechanism on it. I think that's cool because I'm a nerd. We don't have any screws for this, so I'm just going to have a quick rummage in the selector armor.
What do you mean you don't have screws?
I mean, we haven't purchased screws specifically.
In piles everywhere.
Right. What size do we need for this?
I think they're M2. Or M3. Sorry.
Oh, did it specify that?
I think it said
in the
they're
parts?
M3.
Yeah. Oh, M3. Okay, that doesn't look like M3 to me. But also, again, what you get on the model and what you actually print are two different things. Oh, that's definitely too small. Oh, those are M2s I'm looking at the moment. Let's go up to M2.5. I don't think M3 is going to go in there. M2.5.
Yeah, let's just use the screw from the 3D printer
That
box.
feels good. So let's try that out.
Oh, what size were the bearings? Oh yeah.
That's not long enough though. Oh man, we're gonna need some long boys for this. I don't think I've got any screws that are long enough for this Caradog.
Scandalous.
Oh yeah, no, those are exactly the length for that.
Another conversation, the Coffee Lesson Plus. Do you know I printed my own legs?
I see.
Are you okay there, Dave?
Right, let me M2.5. I've got some long boys in the Toshiba pot that might fit, and no one gives a shit about Toshiba laptops anymore, so I'll never use these.
Have Toshiba made a laptop this year?
I think they still make stuff in other countries. I think they
okay.
just aren't in the UK market. That's way too long. Have we got something that's between that? No. All right, we're going in with the long boys. Let's do a test fit.
Oh, too much. There we go. Now your skin is roughly skin coloured.
My skin isn't skin coloured in real life. Oh, I think I'm rounding out those holes. This is going to need fettling. However, as a proof of concept, there it goes. So now what's supposed to happen, as you can see, when I turn that over, we've got this, now that can turn, and when it turns, the gears do a spinny thing. And the idea is that you poke these needles through and the needles will be sticking out of the gears, so when you turn it, the needles go whirligig around and they perfectly stir up your coffee, so it's perfectly distributed.
Yes.
But yes.
Perfect distribution.
Yeah. So that functions, it just requires, we've just got to find the right screws for it, and I think that might need just a little bit of tapping. I don't think I have an M2.5 tap though. So yeah, I think these screws are too long. I need something that is not as long as this, but longer than those.
Ah, interesting. Japanese Toshiba laptops were bought by Sharp.
Ah.
Very well. Which leads to a follow-up question of, does Sharp make any computers?
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I think, legitimate question, actually. I was going to say, yeah, I think Sharp is still kind of a big deal. Ooh, it's okay. Still a kind of a big deal in Japan, but I think I was thinking of Fujitsu. Yeah, no, those need tapping. I'm just screwing directly into raw plastic here, and I need to actually tap a thread through there, and these machine screws aren't up to that. So yeah, okay. This is an off-camera thing because this is going to be very boring to watch me fettle it. I'm super interested to actually try and assemble this and make it work, but this stream is not the time for that.
I quite like the building of it as well.
Yeah, but
just like the fact that 3D printing gears is a thing that you can do.
That's kind of why I'm excited about it. When you sent me the files for this yesterday, I looked at that and I was like, that looks really complicated, and I can't see that actually working with my 3D printing capabilities. But I sliced the parts, I pressed the go button, and it printed it out, and that's what we got. And I'm like, hey, that actually works pretty good.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool, you know. Like, this was like a 7-hour print, this part, but still, that's pretty cool. Just by virtue of the fact that it's made a spinny whirly gig thing with captive gears. That's really cool, I think. All right. We'll come back to this, though, just because this is fixable, but it's going to be a lot of trial and error, which is not particularly interesting to watch, I don't think. So, I'll have a look at this afterwards.
Very well.
I'll put those back into that little packet and drop both of them.
Excellent. Oh, I realised these are sold as a 3D printer nozzle cleaning kit. These.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that makes sense, because as soon as when I looked at them earlier on, I was like, oh, interesting. My 3D printer came with one of those. Yeah. How much was that whole packet?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I spent £6.
Yeah.
£4 of which was on the handle.
Oh, right. Yes. Very well.
I'm not sure. To Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Right. I'll put these 4 screws in. How long are those screws going to be?
I know, they actually might have been crazy.
I think those are the right depth, actually. Yeah, I'll stick 4 of those in. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right.
Oh no, they were £6. I was incorrect.
Fair enough. You get a whole bunch of them, though, so that's fine. Cool. All right, then.
Oh my god, there's an Amazon Basics filament, which is, of course, orange.
Yes. I think the reviews for that said it was not terrible.
Elgoo filament.
I think that's some of the stuff that I've got. I've been using just cheap filament because I've just been trying different stuff just to see what works and what doesn't. The only filament I've used so far that hasn't worked very well for me is I've got some shiny blue filament, and every time I've tried to print with it, it's bubbled horribly. It will print, but it's yeah, I haven't had a single print that has come out and made me go, wow, that came out great, kind of thing. It's always done the print and I'm like, okay, well, that printed. But yeah, that's not what I hoped and dreamed. Cool. All right, we'll fiddle with that later. I'm going to move these aside. Let's get this lad's computer sorted out. Huh?
Let's fix computers.
You can't say that here. All right.
Let's fix Graham. You can't say that here.
Bam.
Oh.
That's a trick of the light, by the way. There we go. Cool. Right. So This has got a... let's see. That's a Radeon, I think it's a 7600 because it's got R76 gaming on it. So that's going to be a 7600, isn't it?
Yes.
I'd imagine it
probably.
I'd imagine it would have XT in the name somewhere if it was an XT.
I would assume so, yes.
So yeah, we've got a Radeon 7600. There is an AMD something in there. It's a DDR4 board, so it's motherboard is a B550M Pro. That's a gigabyte as well, I think. Or no, oh no, it's an MSI. I lie. So MSI B550. So that's going to be a Ryzen 5000 something in it. No idea what. And we've got some Corsair DDR4 RGB in there. And the case is an Ion something. I didn't catch what he said it was. So it's a budget case, but I thought it was kind of nice. Glass fronted, but it's got a fairly big gap down each side, so I think that will catch a reasonable amount of airflow, or satisfactory amount of airflow. And it's got a hinged side panel with this nice little pull tab on it, which I thought was kind of cool. I thought that was quite a nice design personally. I like that. So yeah. So that's that.
There's a bag there.
Oh yeah.
That's below the motherboard.
Oh yeah.
That's fine. I thought it was stuck behind the motherboard.
It's a micro ATX motherboard in an ATX case. Yeah. What power supply is that?
It's an unknown brand.
Oh, that's a bit concerning. MPE 750. 750 watt bronze.
It is a something.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. So
I think it's got the wrong screws in it.
Yesn't. So the screws in that power supply, let's just check. Yeah, no, they are. Ooh, those are a bit long. Yeah, no, we'll change those just in case. There's some real long boy screws in that power supply.
Perfect for fixing a coffee.
Yeah, they are the correct thread, but they're very long, and that always makes me very paranoid that there's a risk that they could go all the way through and be touching the PCB or something like that. And while I doubt very much that is actually happening, but the penalty for failure is a very big bang. So I'm just going to pull those out and change them for some different screws. We also need to pull the motherboard out because the I/O shield, one of the metal tabs on the I/O shield is poking into the Ethernet port. So that the motherboard's got to come out to fix that. So let's see. Yeah, we've got to figure out where to start with this because we can't lay it down annoyingly because all the cables are coming out on one side.
I was going to start by doing that.
Yeah, I'm going to grab some screws.
And then I was going to...
got any screws in there? No.
No, I was going to take everything out of the case. Right, what's plugged in up here? We've got... 24 pin is not in.
As other people have said, we should probably post-test this before we go too far in, just to check that there's no disasters as well.
Oh, indeed. I'm just going to make it so we can lay it down.
Very well. Right, I'm going to pick out some nice matching screws.
The length of the screw is surprisingly concerning.
Yeah.
You just kind of keep going and going.
Yeah.
I
doubt it would be a problem, but again, because it's a power supply, the penalty for being wrong is a very big bang. So, it's kind of a case of just change the screws. There's zero need to make that.
It's a Cooler Master.
Fair enough.
It's a Cooler Master MWE Bronze V2 750 230 volt.
Anyone know where that is on the ratings these days? I've got it in my head that no one likes Cooler Master power supplies at the moment.
Yeah.
But I might be wrong. It'll be fine because it's not a super high powered PC. At 750 watts, you kind of want it to be gold rated at that point. It's not quite so bad. I did see, I have in the shop a, oh no, it's already gone out, but I did have in the shop a 1000 watt bronze rated power supply that was a co-link.
I see.
And I was like, that's kind of sus that your kilowatt power supply is only meeting bronze specifications. However, it was functional, you know.
I'm quickly testing something.
So yeah. Imperial or metric? Power supply screws are imperial. I'm going to grab my can. I'm going to sit down because Caradog's doing the thing. A lot of US PSUs are gold rated these days because Cali energy savings laws. Yeah, it's a good thing.
Oh no. You see the problem in this picture?
Yeah, that's a shame. This is a thing that you will see with some budget cases, is that they just don't put in the reverse mounts for the power supply, so the power supply can only be fitted one way up.
Yeah.
And this case does have a vented power supply enclosure, so you would kind of want it to have reversible mount holes, so you could put the power supply in any way up. However, they haven't done that, so the power supply only goes in one way. Not the end of the world, it's just my preference is fan side up. I'm going to move a couple of bits off of the bench because we don't need that keyboard to be there, and we don't need that keyboard to be there.
Not right now.
Yeah. Incidentally, just stuff coming up. I've ordered loads of parts. This is my Cooler Master Master Keys keyboard that I use at home, and I'm going to do a full refurbishment of this keyboard. I've got all the parts on the way for that, and I'm quite excited for the video.
There you go.
And I'm sure that all of the keyboard nerds are going to hate it, even though I tried my best. So,
but in the end,
yeah,
we have an interesting selection of screws.
Oh, they all mismatched. Yeah. This is why I kind of wanted to make a mainline video of this, just so we could go through it and go, okay, so you're building your first computer. Here's the mistakes that I see people making all the time. This is how you don't make those mistakes. And I wanted to try and do it in like a respectful way, where, to make absolutely clear, we're not shitting on the guy who built this at all. It's his first time building a computer. But the thing is, like, if no one tells you these things, then no one knows. So we want to, I kind of want to do a video similar to this, where we actually look at these things and go, can we bench cam from here? Can you shuffle under the camera? Just so we can get bench cam. I kind of want to do content where we can say, look, these are the kind of mistakes that I see people making all the time. This is what you should be doing. And again, this is not, this isn't meant facetiously. We're not trying to take the piss and go, ha ha ha, what an idiot, he couldn't build a PC. Because a lot of builder videos, they don't say this. They don't tell you which screws to use. They just simply say, now screw in the motherboard. And it's like, well, yes, but like, with what screws? Do I use the imperial ones or the metric ones? Because the answer is always maybe. So left, 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 stop. That's perfect.
Okay, can you tilt the camera towards me, end of the side of the bench?
Yeah.
Just because I want it
to
be
yeah, so you
here.
can move it back. Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that'll do.
Yep, good stuff. Cross-threading standoffs with PC screws. Yeah, well, that's the thing, because the case standoffs that your motherboard screws go into, they can be imperial or metric. It's not standardized. It could be either. So that's the thing. Very few people, when they're doing a build guide, actually say to check whether your standoffs are imperial or metric, which is why it's so common to see first-time builders just strip all the screws and have them in cross-threaded, because they're using the wrong screw, and nothing in any manual or any walkthrough actually tells you how to check.
What? Oh.
You just have to know. So yeah.
Oh.
Have you seen Crimes or?
Oh no, I thought I'd sheared a standoff.
Oh, has one of the standoffs come off, or just? Oh yeah, no, it's just hilariously the wrong screw kind of thing.
One.
So,
2.
yeah. So these screws are stepped screws. These are probably These are hard drive fitting screws.
Oh, do you know why? The
these go
standoffs aren't. The standoffs haven't been moved.
Standoffs are in the wrong place. Okay, yep.
Which is they then went, oh god, what screws can I use?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I see. So he was trying to reach all the way through to the motherboard tray.
Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, these screws that were in the motherboard, these are hard drive ones. They have a big step on them to go through a rubber grommet, so you can rubber grommet mount the hard drive. So that's what those screws were for. So yeah. So what we're going to do now is we're going to realign the standoffs so they're in the correct location for the motherboard. And when we put the motherboard in, we're also going to check that the metal tabs on the I/O shield don't poke into the ports, which was the other mistake there.
That one. That one.
Pliers time. No, Si. We have a proper screwdriver for taking out standoffs now, which my intern got for me. Thanks, Treb.
Right, so we want...
So do I. Fine. Aren't you fancy?
Sometimes.
So yes. Imperial versus metric. I'll do a close-up so you guys can see.
I mean, it's a very easy answer. The Imperial screws are wrong. Can we please just use M3 for everything?
Yeah, unironically, yes. Please let the metric screw die. We really don't
The Imperial
need it.
screw die.
Sorry, please let the Imperial screw die. Yeah. I'm just going to grab... I'm looking for a really good example that has... Because the similar head... Oh, I've got them over there because I'm a moron.
Yeah, that one. I deal with non-full ATX so infrequently I forget which blinking ones it is.
Yeah, it can vary anyway.
We also appear to be short a standoff.
Okay, there was probably an extra one in the packet. Let me grab my standoff, my spare standoffs, and we'll see if I've got something that will fit. I'm getting low in here. There's just a lot of junk in this tray. Have a rummage around in here, see if any of those will fit.
Oh yeah.
I'm just going to quickly set the camera to a... oh no, I could probably lean in front. Now, so I'm going to lean over while you do this. Can we get that close? Ooh, there we go. So in my right hand, that's an M3, metric size 3. So it's 3mm wide. And the left one is Imperial. So you can see the Imperial has a coarse thread on it. And the coarse thread is very noticeable, whereas the fine thread is the metric 3 M3 screw. Yeah, the Imperials can be useful because where they're coarser, they can do a little bit of self-tapping, whereas M3s, these are machine screws. They do not tap the thread at all. However, also because they're metric, it's much easier to understand. It's M3, it means it's 3mm wide. If you put calipers across that thread, it'll be 3mm wide. It's that easy. That's all you need to know.
Please may I have metric screws to put in the motherboard?
You may not, until I've gone to get them.
Very well.
I take it the standoffs were all metric.
Of the two I have sampled, yes.
I see. Yeah. So that will also mean that, again, he would have had a very bad time because you can, if you try and put an M3 into an Imperial thread, it will go in, but it will spin, it won't bite. If you try and put an Imperial into an M3, it will just chew up the thread. It will start going in, but it will immediately start cross-threading, and you'll just tear up the thread. You do get one Hail Mary on that. If you put it in and you go, whoops, that's the wrong one, you'll be okay. But if you start trying to force it in with a big screwdriver, you'll just tear up the thread. So yeah. Imperial is for floppies and DVD. Wrong. Floppies and DVD are metric, hard drives are Imperial. Or at least I've never seen a DVD drive or a floppy drive that takes that takes Imperials. This is the problem with modern PCs. Well, I say modern PCs. This is the problem with PCs, is that they have a mixture of Imperial and metric threads in them, and it just makes no sense. You just have to know.
That's just a nasty thread.
Check the IO shield. Yeah, we already have.
I am
give it another
just
look.
checking all of the mounting points first.
Oh, Caradog, you fool!
I haven't looked at the IO shield yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm checking where all the standoffs are.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Because I knew I was going to miss one, so I was like, I will place the board in there and see which ones I've missed.
That's fine. Yeah, just offering it up. Close enough.
It's cold, okay?
This is one of the reasons why when you're building a PC, the first thing you want to do is just unbox all the parts. Unbox the parts, get the bits out that you want, and put all of the packaging somewhere else. So you've got space to put it in, take it out and put it to one side, put it in, take it out until you're happy that it's all fitting. I've said this in, it's been a hot minute since I've done a how to build a PC video, and I should probably do a modern one. But one of the things that I try to point out to people is to just make sure you're giving yourself space to work, and you're not slowly painting yourself into a corner where you're balancing things and you're piling things on top of each other, and then that's when you start making mistakes because you've got nowhere to move. Fine through is metric. The fine width through screw is metric. The Imperial one is coarse. But by the sounds of things, you've got it right in your brain. You're just using the wrong term. And if you got it right in your brain, that's close enough. So.
Okay. Cool. One screw is enough.
Imperial screws are needed because they're thick and they strip the paint off the case to provide a proper ground contact. Really shouldn't be relying on that for grounding. That's just a build issue in my opinion. Plus, M3 can do that anyway.
Not you.
I do agree though, Imperials are very good at just retapping the hole through a thick layer of paint, but I also feel like that's a build quality issue if your hole is so filled with paint that you have to tap the thread again. And I can see from here that this case is one of those ones that has that issue where the PCI brackets are not tapped.
I'm not going to fiddle with that. It's a snap off, and I was like, oh, can I just straighten that? And then it was immediately like, no.
We've got spares. If one of those needs to come off because it's hanging on but with hopes and dreams, I've got spare PCI plates, so that's not a big deal.
Yes, you have the adamant IT ones.
I do. But yeah, I need to get the STL files for that from Nikolai. I keep saying that and keep not doing it.
Why don't you message him?
Nikolai, are you still around? Can you DM me the STL files for those
Use your telephone, it's right there.
No, I'm just going to shout into the chat.
Oh my god.
People come here to listen to me. It's all about me.
I have an audience.
And therefore my opinion matters more.
Also, something I've started doing a lot more recently is lining a screw up.
Thank you, Nikolai. See, the system works. Carry on. Something you've started doing a lot more
is putting the screw on the thing I'm going to screw into, and then just when it's all the way out, unscrewing by like half a turn until the thread skips. Because then it's actually completely lined up.
Yeah, that's a good way to make sure that you're lined up with the thread, is actually to just do a half or full turn backwards, wait for the skip, and then go in.
Because you are basically guaranteed to be actually lined up. No!
Owned.
Come back here.
Put that thing back where it came. I can't do it. Put that thing back where it came from. Also help me. Close enough.
Put that thing back where it came from. Also help me. Boom, boom, boom.
So help me. So help me. So help me. We haven't done that like organically for a long time. We used to do that all the time. It was our little thing. It was one of those moments where like you made the reference sometime and I played into it because I was like, I understand this reference and I'll play along, and you're like, ha, he understands that reference and he's playing along. So anyway, how's chat?
There you go.
Had Apple One had Imperial electric screws? I don't know actually.
Are we moving?
I mean, the Apple One was built in a suitcase, so.
Are we moving the M2?
Yes. Put the M2 in the top slot. Yeah, I did have a conversation with him. He has got the heatsink. He said he was having trouble getting it to fit with the graphics card in. I think that was a skill issue, and I politely said try again, and you'll find that it will go on. However, we're going to put the M2 in the top.
Do you have the angled thingies?
Yeah.
Just because I want to put an ever so slight tweak on the M.2 standoff to get it out.
Yeah.
Just because I think it's... Hold on. Is it in the way? Before I make a fool.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Is the standoff in the wrong place? Maybe that's why he had trouble with it.
Yeah, there is a standoff in the 40... this one and this one.
The middle slot.
The middle one. I can't remember what length it is.
Yeah. I think it's 60 for the middle.
Oh, you can just put a
40,
big
60,
flathead
80.
in the top. Have you got a big flathead?
Yep. Is that big enough? If not, there's a bigger one in the thing. That was just the one that I had in my hand. Anyway, yes, we're going to move the M.2 slot to the top slot. The top slot is directly connected to the CPU, so is theoretically the fastest and uses less of your chipset PCIe lanes, which are more limited. So there's kind of no reason not to use the top slot. In reality, on the vast majority of just straightforward builds, it's not going to make any meaningful difference to performance.
Yes, the only time that's different is where you've got Z690, Z790, X670 boards, where the top M.2 is a PCIe 5 and it's stealing lanes off of your top 16.
Ah, interesting. That's horrifying. Yeah, like I did not know that was a thing, and I'm like, come a fucking again.
Because we know everyone is a file copying enthusiast and requires 5 M.2s.
I hate it. I hate everything about it.
Do you know what we had? The slots that you could adapt.
Here it comes, everyone. If only we had some kind of modular slot that you could just put anything into, and you would just put loads of those on the motherboard instead of specialist slots that had very limited use for only certain things.
Right.
We could make some kind of standard, and it would be very fast. It would be express speed.
Exactly.
You know.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We're talking about PCIe.
Are you proud of me? I put in all the motherboard screws.
I'm very proud of you, Caradog. Yeah. Also check the newest BIOS. We should probably do that, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But, step 1, make sure the screws are actually in the motherboard.
Yeah, we don't even know if the thing posts yet. We've no reason to believe there's a fault with it at this point because, you know, the owner didn't get that far. What am I going to charge for the job? I was feeling like a bro today, so I said 50 quid. Normally for builds, I charge between £60 and £100, depending on complexity. Like if it's a basic office box that you can slap together in half an hour, then it's 60 quid, which is just my flat service fee. If you rock up and there's a whole bunch of RGB cables that need to go in, and you've got to do all those RGB noodly wires, I'm charging more for that. For this one, when someone rocks up and they're doing their first build and they got a bit out of their depth and they're a bit sad that they couldn't get the job done, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to be a bro and I'm going to do it a little bit cheaper for you because I want you to enjoy your new PC. And I want you to get this back, put it in your bedroom and feel really happy about it. And so I'm going to be a bro and charge 50 quid.
Did you pick out screws you wanted me to use for the power supply?
Yes, here's some nice matching black ones.
Cool.
None of the other screws are black, however, as long as they're matching, that's what I think it matters the most. You charge 70 quid with like 8 RGB fans. Yeah.
Ugh. I mean, unless they're like the Lianli ones, which are, you know, slapped together one cable. Or the Corsair
Maybe.
Linky ones.
I'm going to switch off of that camera because we're seeing nothing. Yep.
If they're the Corsair Linky ones, I could understand charging like 60 quid for that. Because you're basically sticking fans in, plugging in one cable, ta-da, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's
Corsair.
anything else, it's just like, no, I'm charging you £150. You had enough money to buy these and the amount of time it will take me. No thanks.
Yeah. Also, just it's also just the fact that SIs they make a healthy profit, man. I was one of my friends the other day said to me, I want to build a new PC for the new Final Fantasy 14 update that's coming out. I've got this much to spend. You know, I'm thinking of just buying a pre-built, or should I build it myself? You know, and he said, you know, like. I haven't built a computer for about a decade, so like I'm really out of touch with everything. So it's not, building a computer isn't beyond me, but I might just buy one just so it's no hassle.
Hacking.
And I'm like, reasonable. And he said, but you know, I'm not sure if that's good value for money or not. And so I did some quick toss-ups, and he's in America, so I checked a couple of I checked like CyberPower, and I checked Build Redux, and he said, oh, my friend tipped me off to this local PC builder, and so I looked up them. They were called Doghouse PCs, I think. And so I totted up a PC on there, and the short answer was that building it himself would save him hundreds of dollars. You know, it wasn't just like a $100, it was hundreds of dollars he would save. And I said to him, I was like, you will save a lot of money. And like, that's the difference of getting the next tier up graphics card. And that is something that you're going to feel when you're using it. You know, if you build it yourself, you can get the high-end graphics card, not the mid-range graphics card. And that means you get to run at 120 FPS, not 60, you know. So yeah. Doghouse PCs. I think it was Doghouse PCs. I'm going to Google it. I was not very impressed with them though, because they were Intel only. They weren't even the latest Intel, and their prices were okay, whatever you say, you know. So yeah, Doghouse PCs. Yeah, Doghouse Systems, that was it. Yeah. So yeah, like not wanting to dick on them or anything, there's nothing personal, but I looked at their prices and I was like, yeah, no, I don't think that's good value for money, sorry. So yeah. Also, you get a sense of proudness when you built it yourself. I agree with that. And like the guy who owns this one, I could see that he was heartbroken that he wasn't able to finish it himself. He was kind of sad that he didn't get it across the line. And but I said, you know, and what I said to him, I said, you know, I get, you know, it's a bummer that you didn't get to finish it yourself. However, for what it's worth, I'll make the cables look really schmick for you. And if you had finished it, probably would have been slightly dodgy wiring, and it probably wouldn't have met your vision. Whereas if you know, I'll finish it off for you, I'll make the cables look really good. So the important thing is when you get it home, you plug it in and you turn it on, it's going to look really good and you're going to feel really happy about it. And that's what is important.
Where did you put the keyboard?
There.
Where did you put the lanyard?
There. Ugh. We're probably going to need a graphics card.
Yeah, that's fine.
Maybe if he's close to a micro center, they do builds for like $100. Oh, that's a good shout. I didn't think of that. He hasn't done it yet. He was just making initial interest things. So I'll mention that to him. I'll say, actually check if there's a micro center near you. Because,
also, if there is a micro center near you, just buy the parts from there.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. That's a very good point. I didn't think of that. Man, I wish we had Micro Center. Well, we have Scan, but whatever.
They were basically giving away. I can't remember if it was a 7800X3D. I think it was with 32 gigs of RAM for free. I was just like, okay.
What? To anyone or like?
Yeah. You walk in, you buy the CPU, you get the RAM for free.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Nuts.
Yeah.
What's the most popular PC parts chain in the UK? Well, we've got Scan computers.
The front panel has not been plugged in at all.
No, nothing has been plugged in.
I thought I had plugged it in.
You have not.
No.
You've not done the thing.
That's why I was like, oh, the power button doesn't work.
Yeah.
Now I was like, oh, wait, I didn't plug it in.
Just screwdriver it.
Yes. But it was the fact that I was just like, oh, I have a mistake.
Yeah.
What?
Curry's is good. I'll be impressed if they're good. So yeah. What markup would you put on the same system? I mean, like I said, I'm generally charging, depending on the complexity of the system, between £60 and £100 for the build, and I will round up the price on all the components. So if the motherboard costs £123, I'll charge 130 or 125. And so I'll just round everything up to the nearest 5 or 10 as appropriate. And once you do that on all the components, you're going to have a built-in parts profit of another, 20 or 30 quid there as well. So, how are we feeling? Shall I get a beep speaker?
I feel like I've made a mistake.
We've got a professional building this one, ladies and gentlemen.
Because it's stuck on the VGA.
Fair enough.
And that would be heartbreaking.
Box is bankrupt. Oh yeah, Box went out of business. That was a shame. Because Box actually had some really good deals at some point. They often popped up as the cheapest when you looked on PC Part Picker. Yeah, eBuyer Overclockers UK. Yeah, eBuyer have always been pretty good. Overclockers, they're okay. Sometimes their prices are good, sometimes they're not. Overclockers kind of got onto our shit list during the pandemic. During the big GPU shortage, they were selling a lot of GPUs that they didn't have. They were just taking infinite pre-orders for stuff that they didn't have stock of and had no idea when they would have stock of.
Yeah.
Which is really heckin' sketchy. No, by virtue of the fact that they haven't gone bang, I'm assuming that all resolved itself. You nearly worked at Box for a long time back. Oh, interesting. Yeah. CCL is still alive. CEX do builds? Oh, I hope not. I hope not. Oof.
That would be an experience, I guess. CPU? DRAM? Lights out?
RAM training?
VGA? Boot!
Huzzah!
There you go. Ryzen 550, 500.
Huzzah! All right. And we've dropped into bus. I can probably get a picture of that just for posterity. Capture. Nope, that's that one. Right, here we go. I'm going for a wander, everyone. Hold on to your lunch. There we go. No. I don't know what just happened. We went inverted. I went cross-eyed. Hang on, hold on. Nope. I'm going to give up on this in a minute. Hold on. There it is. Post. Please ignore all the boxes in the background. They don't exist. They're a figment of your imagination.
The BIOS build date is September 2023. Is that the newest one?
September 2023. That sounds pretty recent.
E7 C9 5A MS.2 H0.
All right, stand by and I'll look that up. Let's position
Hey, I'm doing
one.
what you do. I'm just shouting at chat.
2. Yeah. Clean the shop. You clean the shop. You come here and clean it, JD.
Yeah. You'll have a job then.
Wow, oof. All right, what motherboard was this again? It was a B550...
Something. I don't know.
Thanks.
I don't know, because the label's underneath the M.2. Oh. B550 M Pro-VDH Wi-Fi.
M Pro VDH Wi-Fi. Is there a revision number by any chance?
I will have a look in a second.
Doesn't look like it actually. I'm not seeing any options for revision numbers. Supports, BIOS. Latest BIOS release is January, so yeah, there is a new BIOS. The previous one was October, so yeah, there's been a couple.
Fair enough.
And yeah, there was a September one as well, so it's a couple of versions out.
Version 1.4 is possibly what the board is.
Don't know, because as usual, the version numbers on the website have no relation to what the BIOS tells you.
The motherboard is version 1.4.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
possibly.
yeah. It looks like there's no other revisions of this board. So.
Excuse me.
Cool. I'll download that BIOS super quick, just so we've got that on hand.
Oh.
Oh.
I wasn't entirely certain what that was. And I realised it's for plugging in the reset switch.
Yes. So
to plug it into this fan?
So
yeah, the reset switch goes into the fan.
Okay, so how is the RGB on this thing working? Because we've got RGB fans, we've got some daisy chain connectors for
which go,
these look like super fans. So
which go to here.
Yeah, and I'm guessing, is there an RGB controller built into the fan itself or something bonkers like that?
Because the wires go into here and then up to there.
I think that fan has a built-in RGB controller.
Seem to come up to here.
Yeah. So what's going to happen is the LED button on top of the case, that is going to change the color of the LEDs, and I wonder if you hold it down, it does a reset or something like that, which would be actually quite clever.
But how would it do a reset?
All it has to do is short the line, though.
Right.
So the RGB controller will just sense if you're holding the button or tapping the button. And if you tap the button, then it changes color. If you hold the button, it does a reset down the reset line.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I understand, because there's no thing coming from the motherboard.
Good, okay, but how does that tell the computer anything?
Right.
There is physically no connection.
Right. I'm talking, forget everything I just said.
I am talking for Breeze.
Yes. You plug the reset button into it.
Yes.
Because instead of being labeled LED, it'll be labeled reset.
Yes.
I'm talking the bollocks.
Yes.
And I don't mean like the dog's bollocks, I mean just bollocks. Regular bollocks.
Testicles.
Yeah.
Persephones.
Didn't this used to be a tech channel? Yeah, once upon a time. You just have no reset
building
button.
Computers.
Yeah. Basically, the LED button on top is the reset button. They've just printed LED on it because it's intended to be connected to the LED controller, which is how most of the cheap budget cases work. And it's fine, I guess.
Can I just kind of go across like that?
Yeah, that looks fine. We can
that can do that.
Zip tie all of that back once it's connected, can't we?
And then that can just run across there. Fine. That I actually want on the other side of that.
Do you still install the speaker? I don't. I don't plug in a PC speaker normally. Because you don't need it unless you're doing diagnostics, and anyone doing diagnostics who has any idea what they're doing will plug in a speaker while they do diagnostics. Well, you plug in the speaker when you feel you need it. Basically, if the motherboard isn't posting, and you're thinking, that's probably spitting out a beep code, you plug in a speaker to see if it's giving a beep code. And that's my preference. And the other reason for that is just the beep speaker, it's horrible to tidy up. So, and it's personal preference. Like I say, I don't plug it in unless I'm doing diagnostics. So, yeah. Graham is doing Frank's work. How very dare. Installed in a similar case this week. Reset switch cycles LED modes. Yeah. And holding down 5 seconds switches it to the ARGB onboard. That's how these usually work, yes. I was actually talking nonsense because for a moment I thought this actually had some kind of reset pass-through on it, which would have been super cool. But no, that's not actually what was going on at all. I was just talking out my ass. Are you winning, son? Remember when the beep speakers were huge? Yes, they were actual literal speakers. I think the main reason there was that they used to be huge, not because we didn't have the technology, but because people actually wanted to use the speaker for meaningful sound output. The beep speaker was actually used for actual sound before multimedia. But by the time multimedia came in and the beep speaker was relegated to diagnostic purpose, it didn't need to be a massive ass speaker anymore. So it was easier just to use a tiny little piezoelectric jobby. Which probably allowed them to put a smaller driver onto it as well, which was also convenient, because if you put in an actual, if you put on an actual cone speaker, you would have actually had to put some kind of amplifier on that. Better boards have integrated speaker on board? Not really. Integrated speakers on motherboards are really rare. Reasonably common on OEM systems.
So,
but yeah, so.
Come up through here for HD audio,
Yeah.
or come out there and go across there?
I would come out low and go across.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah, just to cut in low to the motherboard, basically.
Where's the USB? The USB is in not a nice place. Fine.
Is Caradog an employee of Adamant IT? No, I don't pay him. He just hangs around. No, Caradog is actually a functional member of society who actually does real jobs and actually manages people, whereas I'm just an idiot.
One of the people I manage is Graham.
Yeah.
You will do your things. Okay.
I'll think about it, yeah. It's on my radar. You made 50 quid Caradog for this job. Technically yes, but we'll see. Caradog is not a cable, isn't a cable tidying master, because Caradog is just like, why would you tidy the cables? Who cares? It's going to be under the desk.
Yeah.
So I will probably do some corrective work on this. We're just going to make this work initially and just get the initial stuff done. And then I'm probably going to go over it all and be like, actually, I'm doing this.
Does this have a ARGB?
RGB.
This is not 12 volt, is it? It's 5 volt.
Correct. That is 5 volt ARGB.
Cool. Then no, because that's got
Really?
a 12 volt printed on it.
Very surprised. Let's have a again.
No. I'm looking.
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's that one.
Okay,
because
yeah,
the one
you
at
found
the
it.
bottom's got a 12 volt on it, and I was like,
I'm
is it that one? That would be convenient. No, never mind.
I'm surprised it still has the 12 volt output because because analog 12 volt RGB is dead. No one uses it. Yeah, because
That way?
there's literally no reason not to put ARGB on.
Why do I feel like I'm horridly bending these pins?
Because the connector is terrible. The ARGB connector is actually terrible.
I think it's worse than the USB 3 connector.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Somehow they've done it. They've made it worse.
Yeah. The USB 3 connector, as terrible as it is, at least has a plastic shroud to guide the plug in. You don't even get that with ARGB.
There we go.
Hot glue. Well, I guess to stop it falling out. Unironically, not a terrible idea. Yeah.
We are hiding extra crimes.
No, we're not allowed to do crimes because we're building it on camera.
There we go. No one can see the extra crimes.
Tucking wires behind the motherboard is fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
There we go. Good, that will do.
All right.
Because that will do. What's that? That's the super fans.
I hate that those fans have a Molex connector on them.
What's that? That's from
Yes, Molex fanboys in the comments. I'm talking to you. You're wrong.
I have chosen violence this day.
It's died down now, but for the longest, there was a video where I went on a rant about like sort of, oh, Molex is crap. Why do we still have this in any modern computers and stuff? The amount of people in the comments that was just like, Molex did nothing wrong. And I'm just like, it's obsolete. Why are you going to bat for it? It's a crap connector.
I think we're going to end up stuffing that under the... Fine, okay. Just... something like that. Fine. That'll do. There is nothing nice you can do with that 24 pin, I don't think.
Actually, there is, because I probably just remembered that we actually have braided extensions for all the major power cables.
Ah, cool, okay. We're not going to use the EPS one, I would imagine.
Why not?
Because you can see this much of it.
Yeah, but we've got it, so we'll lob it in there. I agree, like, if you're building a computer, don't bother buying an 8-pin EPS braided extension because you can only see 2 centimeters of it. That much being said,
thin and wiggly is that?
Yeah, he may have bought a pack though that came with all of them. But yeah.
Can that vanish through that hole there?
Cool if possible. I wouldn't break your back over it though, because like it's okay if it takes a big swing through the case because it's a nice looking cable.
That? But no, the answer is no.
Yeah. Molex is a company. Yeah, I know. But when I say Molex connector, everyone knows what I'm talking about. Real Molex was fine. Cheap Molex is where all the pins wobble around. Yeah, I can understand that, yeah. However, so far as I can tell, cheap Molex is basically all that exists now. I've never seen a Molex connector where I've thought, wow, that's a really nice connector. Where to buy good capacitors? Whatever your mainline electronics supplier is. Like in the UK, we'd use like Farnell or CPC, I think, or somewhere like that.
Which is Farnell.
Oh, is they
CPC Farnell?
Oh, okay, yeah. What's the other one? There's like 2 mainstream ones. Although I think
eBay?
eBay are crap ones. Like I buy ones from eBay because the thing at the end of the day with capacitors it doesn't matter that much. Unless you're actually trying to build an audio amplifier, in which case you might actually care about good quality capacitors. But yeah, DigiKey, that's the one. Yeah, DigiKey are in the UK as well. I think DigiKey also serve America. I could be wrong though. Mauser, that was also the other one that I was thinking of. RS components as well. Yes, there we go. These are many examples.
Committing extra crimes.
JD prefers Molex to SATA on his D5s because he can power it off the bench power supply. So not worried about leaks on the cooling system. Yeah, you get an adapter for that though. Just get an old power supply, chop the SATA connector off, and just stick some banana plugs on the end of it so you can plug it into your bench supply for testing.
I'll let you tidy that up. You can earn your £50.
I'm going to make this work for the sake of the camera, and then you actually have to do the job for reals afterwards.
Well, the actual cable tidying, yeah, absolutely.
I hadn't thought about that, says JD quietly to himself. Sometimes I am smart.
Oh, is that removable? Oh, that could be handy dandy.
What?
The SSD hard drive doodad.
Yeah, that'll come out, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that would be handy.
Probably
dandy.
unscrews from the bottom.
Yeah, just to fold the cables in and then put it back in. Basically,
yes.
Just because all the cables are not neatly packaged. So if you neatly package them, fold them across, then put the bay in, it'll be fine.
I see what you mean, yeah. Yes, I shall probably do something similar to that.
Yes. Fine. I will front panel.
Understandable. Have a day.
Power switch CH. It's the Swiss one?
Power switch CH.
It's the Swiss power switch?
Power switch. Right, let's see. The other ones we've got, so we've got an EPS extension, we've got an 8-pin PCI Express, and we've got two 6-pin PCI Express. So we've got a single 8-pin on that graphics card, right?
See.
Cool. All right. Put these back here because we don't need those.
I really, really hope that the on the extensions you can't buy EPS to PCI.
Unlikely, yeah.
So I can see that being a crime that someone would commit.
Let's see. Someone asked what case is this, and I've lost sight of where it was there. It was Sean Modo. So this is an Ion case. I think Ion was the brand. The chap did tell me, because I asked him, because I said, what case is that? Because that looks quite nice, you know. Like, it's a budget case, don't get me wrong. This thing's probably like 40 or 50 quid. And it has the absolute classic biscuit tin build quality of a Chinese case. But for a budget build, I think it looks quite nice. I don't hate it. Can anyone help us identify this? I'm going to start.
Ions. Oh, you've got like a serial number on a sticker here.
Ion chassis. Ion 2? Ion 219? Nope, that's not a thing.
Oh yes.
Ion ATX case.
It's IONZ.
IONZ, okay.
Possibly.
Ions. Oh yeah, Ion's PC case, that's getting results.
Where is the big? I require the big.
The big screwdriver.
Yes. Where is the Phillips 1, 2? Buckle my shoe. Thank you. What?
Ion's PC cases. Ah, there it is. It's an Ion's KZ20. 48 quid on Amazon, or £49 on Amazon.
Oh, no.
Ion's KZ20.
There you go. Slam an affiliate in the chat.
You know what? Just because you said that, am I logged in? I am. You too could own this PC case right now using my Amazon associate link. There we go. It's not an affiliate link. I'm not allowed to call it that because I'm not affiliated with Amazon. I'm associated with Amazon.
Would Amazon care to explain what the difference is from a functional standpoint of the understanding of the audience?
It was a long time ago now, but I had a nasty email from them saying, oh, you're using your links in a place that you haven't specified in your account. And it was because someone had just posted my affiliate links in some other random PC forum.
Associate.
Yeah. Sorry, associate links.
My-
And I had to reply to them and be like, well, I mean, like, look, I use them in my YouTube comments, sometimes on Twitter and in Discord, but like, if someone shares my link in a third-party forum, I can't control that. You know, like, I can't stop people from sharing my links. That's the point of them. I did not get a response. That was just the end of that conversation. And I'm like, whatever, Amazon, whatever, you know.
I have not enjoyed this conversation in English.
Yes. I'm not sure if I was actually talking to a robot.
What are you?
But yeah, it comes with the fans. Like, they're cheap RGB fans. I'm not going to say that they're good fans, but for this thing is 50 quid, and you get something that looks smart, has a tempered glass swinging side panel. I think it's a pretty good case. I'd build a gaming PC in that, and I would look at that and be like, yeah, that's a good starter case. You're going to have to spend 80 or 90 quid to get something that's actually meaningfully better than this, minimum. So for that reason alone, I would say that's pretty good. I'm not a huge fan of glass fronted, but it does have, I think there's enough of an air gap down the side there that it will have reasonable airflow.
I think you can get away with that.
Yeah, although the only other problem is, oh no, that front panel will come off. Yeah, that's fine. I was going to say that front panel is going to get dusty on the inside, so you will need to dust it.
Shibbit.
Could you get a 4090 in this case? No. Not a 4090. Maybe a 4080. Like, you could probably get a 300mm graphics card in there if you're not using a front mount radiator. I would not use this for a high-end build. If you can afford a 4090, you can afford a better case than this. Again, when I say I would use this for like a £600 or £700 PC build. I would build glass cannons in this. But if you're spending 4 figures on your computer, buy a better case than this, you know. Get yourself a nice Corsair. Yeah, as Treblaine just said, 4090 in a 40 quid case is like a V8 in a Fiat Punto, yeah. Treblaine says the only difference between associate and affiliate is a contract binding obligations. Is that like actual legal terminology, or is that your interpretation of how Amazon are probably differentiating it? Because like, if that's actually a legal thing where associate and affiliate have different legal implications, then that makes absolute sense. They made a V6 Clio. This is true.
They made a 400 horsepower Golf.
It's what Google says. Understandable. Have a day.
No, do not show them. I thought you were swapping cameras. I was like, no, do not show the audience the crimes.
Are you committing crimes? Yeah.
Always, I'm building computers.
Why am I not doing? Do you want to tag out unironically? Or are you just like, I'm going to see how well I can do?
There you go. I'm getting this into a state of preparedness. Which one was the... What are you?
These are the ones we want, yeah.
No, we don't want that, because that's an EPS.
Yeah. This is for your EPs. Sai says, I let him build once. He mashed my pins.
I'll have you know, that CPU worked when I left.
Did all of it? Did the audio work? Looks like a fractal from Wish. Yeah, it's an NZXT knockoff, I think. Or well, actually, I'd call this a Pop Air knockoff. So yeah, fractal from Wish. But yeah, I still think it looks nice personally. I'd say, unironically, I don't hate this case. There's a lot of these Chinese cases that I just don't care for, just because I think they just look cheap. But this one I think actually looks pretty cool.
Does that work? Yeah, that works.
I think one of my only major grievances with it is that it has a single USB 3 port at the top and dual USB 2. And once again, I'm begging you guys, you're already running a USB 3 cable. Why is there not 2 USB 3 ports?
That works.
The cable can carry 2. And this is the point where someone is just like, well, everyone in China is using USB 2. And I'm like, why though? USB 3 has existed for over a decade. How are you still using USB 2 hardware?
Or more precisely, saying that it just doesn't have USB 3.
Yeah. How is it that you are still building brand new computers with hardware that doesn't have USB 3? Because that's the only reason why you would put USB 2 front ports on a case. So I don't understand the logic. Front is Perspex. The front is glass. It is tempered glass, is it? Give it a tap.
Yeah, certainly
Yep,
feels
it is tempered glass. But there is an air gap here that's big enough to fit my little finger into.
Yes, a
there's
reasonably big gap.
Yeah, there's a decent air gap full length down both sides. So I think that will provide actual airflow into the fans. A lot of these Chinese cases, there would literally be just some holes there. And that would not be good enough. And no, you will get no airflow through those fans. But this has got a pretty decent air gap there. I'm not going to say that it's as good as an actual airflow case, but it's not bad. Cable is expensive. Then why are you putting USB 2 ports in it?
But it's like, if the cable itself is expensive, and you're already using a USB 3 cable, you've already had to go to that expense.
You got 2 Venuscorp PCs for me. No, you haven't. You've got 2 Venuscorp PCs.
Was that Sai?
Yes, it was. I don't know where he keeps getting them from.
I don't know, but I'm going to do him a violence.
I'm going to do his Venuscorps of violence.
I love the fact that for some reason, this SSD tray has rubber grommets on an SSD tray.
Is it a 2.5-inch tray? Or 3.5-inch?
It's stamped SSD. I didn't actually look at it. It's 3.5. So yes, you could put a hard drive in it. But then you mount it with a thumb screw straight to the metal.
Yeah, that's one of those like good intentions, poorly implemented things. Because that's the thing. You do want to rubber mount your hard drives. They do make a lot of noise. Customers keep bringing them in. Yeah.
Tell them to stop.
Well, he does by selling them a new PC.
He does by selling them the Venuscorp. They come in with a Venuscorp. He walks into the back room, picks up one he has polished, and then goes, "Here is your turd."
Imagine building a sleeper in a Venuscorp. Part of me wants to do that, but the other part of me doesn't want to do anything that makes them look interesting or publicised in any way, shape or form, because Venuscorp are fucking thieves.
There you go. That's good enough for Australia. Are we sticking Windows on this?
No. Actually, oh balls, I should have asked because we had the SSD. We'll jam Windows. We'll jam Windows on there, and I'll give him a bell at the start of the week and just say, what Windows do you want to put on there?
He said 11.
Did he say 11?
He said he has Windows 11 at home.
Okay, we'll chuck 11 on there then and just save him the trouble.
But also didn't quite fully comprehend the question, I don't think.
Yeah, I think he said he'd made a Windows 11 flash drive. The question is whether he did it properly or not, and he probably did because it's kind of hard to screw that up. So we'll stick 11 on there because that can be the confidence test in that case.
There you go. And then, whoop.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, that didn't go where I wanted it to. Damn it! Now I have to do lots of hand poking.
I didn't want to say anything, but I had noticed that you'd taken the drive cage out and then somehow still not managed to fold the cables in. It's fine. It looks fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
Don't worry about
it's fine. Because I couldn't get the other one folded across.
Fair enough.
But now there is the Molex sticking out, so you can actually plug the power in.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's reasonable.
And the power wasn't, and the Molex wasn't sticking out to plug the power in before. There we.
Right. Okay.
Oh.
We'll see if this posts, and if it does, then we'll tag out, and I'll sort out that back.
Whoop.
Bang.
Nice.
Cool.
The fans are RGBing. Well, they are Ring. They are Ging. They are Ping.
That's a very lilac blue, isn't it? Yeah. And there's all. Oh, sure. See if it's got like a nice effect in it. Okay, good. It does actually have some smooth effects, not stepped effects. It would look a lot better if we did the front peel, but I'm not going to do the front peel because it's... If I'd been building this from scratch, I would do the front peel. But because it's half done, I'll let him do that. This comes to the point where there's like 40 presets. Oh, actually, okay, there's not that many presets in there. Yeah. Usually there's like 40 presets, each one more terrible than the last. And it's just like, who uses any of these? All right. Hello, Paul Kitchen. What case is this? This is an Ions on KZ20. It's a budget case, and we've just been discussing how it's kind of cool, we think. So yeah, not terrible.
The only minor issue is the case blocks off the ports on the graphics card.
Yeah, that's a common issue. It'll probably... Is it causing an issue?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, that looks okay. This is a fairly common issue where the graphics card ports sit a little bit high. I think that'll be fine. So yeah, looks like a Pop Mini. Yeah, it's a Pop knockoff, basically.
VGA.
It's junk. Size of case. I mean, it's a budget case. It's 50 quid. What do you want? You know.
There you go.
Find me a better case for 50 quid, Si. Like RRP, not on special offer.
There we go.
Nice.
So if we... There we go.
Yeah, there we go. So there's the motherboard built-in RGB, which is actually a lot smoother. That's actually how you want to drive those fans, is off of the motherboard RGB, because that's actually driving them smoothly.
Nice.
Instead of horrible steps. So yeah, just put that off canter just so you can see that a bit better. There you go. That actually looks quite smart. It was front on to the light that we had there. So,
oh, I see.
Yeah, so just the reflection was really nasty. Whereas now we've actually turned that to the side so you can see the slightly smoked front glass. So yeah, that actually looks pretty nice. Deepcool CH370WH. So I looked at one of the Deepcool cases and I was really unimpressed. Which is not to say that it was terrible, but it didn't feel premium. Let me have a quick look to see if it was that one. That looks okay, actually. Let's see.
No.
Trying to find a UK price for it.
Build this computer. Come on, Graham.
Okay. Well, fine. You find a price on that.
I will do. Shut up.
You, whatever. Get out of my way. I'm walking here. I'm building here. I'm tidying cables here. I don't know where this accent is going.
Please stop.
Okay, right.
We have an audience.
Okay. Do that.
I like the deep cool liquid coolers, the new ones.
Yes, Deep Cool do have premium cases as well. But the Deep Cool cases that cost 50 quid are also cases that feel like they're 50 quid.
Yeah,
You know.
LT720 and stuff like that.
Yeah. In a surprise to no one, if you buy a cheap case, it will be cheaply built. It doesn't matter what brand name is on it.
Bleach audio. I see. Deep Cool Japan.
I'm going to put in...
Nope. UK.PC part picker.
Yeah, I was failing that. Just click the shopping tab on the Google search results. Someone will have a price for it.
Nope.
Is it just not available in the country?
€67 and then some Converses.
Yeah. Yeah, looks like
there we go.
Looks like if you found it in the UK, it would be about water cooling UK,
74,
yeah,
£74
including delivery, about £63 list price. That's not bad. It does look fairly nice. Like that's not again. This was like £45. This case, you know, it was like
£120,
46 or £47 or something like that. So, you know, this one is still cheaper. That does actually look reasonably good bang for buck though. So I'll give you that. I don't think it's so. You know, you could spend a little bit extra.
What's it? Deep Cool CH. Oh, there you go. There's some stuff
60 quid.
for a CH set.
It does look quite nice. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
I like the front panel on it.
Yeah, 60 quid from Orbit.
Yeah, Scanner got it for 60 quid
you
as
go.
well, so there's a recognisable name. Yeah?
Scan don't have stock.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's 60 quid from Orbit with free delivery, or £75 from Amazon,
Yeah, 75 quid's a bit dear for that, I
or
think.
140 from Newegg.
Fine.
That's also micro ATX,
Yes.
just to be aware.
Yes. But that's not bad, because a lot of budget builds, you often find yourself using a micro ATX motherboard, because micro ATX boards are cheap. So...
Also, Si, just for you, here is the bench cam.
hang on a sec. I'm gonna I'll fold over again. There we go. That'll do. Alright, I'm gonna try and sort this out. I'm making this up as I go along.
Uh-huh. Of course you did, Si. Absolutely.
What did Si claim?
That he said it when you had it like this. I was like, sure, okay.
I see. Maybe. It's possible. It was laid down at some point, and then I put it upright.
What? How'd the glass fall out? What glass? Oh, the front glass?
Well, there's front glass. This is not removable. You have to take off the entire plastic front panel. And then there's the outer side panel is a hinged swinging one, which we have removed while we're building.
Yes. Rude. Of course I'm rude to you, Si. That's what you're there for.
It's not like you're going to leave. No, seriously, we love you, Si. It's okay.
So are you going to leave? I'm going to come find you.
I feel so guilty when I throw shade at people.
I'm going to come find you in your shop and be like, hello, let's eat Chinese.
Yeah. Soon as well. When's that happening again?
Whenever you confirm your availability.
I thought there was a date already set.
Yeah, as soon as you confirm you're actually available, because you said, I don't know if I'm available.
Okay.
However, it was the first weekend of March.
Right.
Which makes it this Friday 1st, Saturday 2nd, Sunday 3rd.
Sure. Reset LED switch. Okay, right.
Book the hotel. Yes! I will do. I'll book the double bed. It's okay, I'm sure you're used to it due to your conventions.
How very dare. I've never had to top to tail with anyone.
No.
I spooned, yeah.
Exactly.
I was like, I'm just going to get in there before you do, yeah. The rumour come out, does Graham is gay?
It's an old meme, but
Oh my
checks out.
god, I unplugged that and I still managed to get it wrong.
So what you're saying is, it was correct the first time?
No, it wasn't. That's why I unplugged it, but I unplugged it and then plugged it in wrong again. Oh, that'll be because that's fine, I'll put it there.
It'll be because it was in the right place?
No!
Was it, or was it not plugged into the header for the USB?
It was tangled with another cable.
Top to tail still has the fun stuff next to each other. Thank you, Neil.
What else is going on in chat, Caradog?
Sleepwalker asks, any expensive trips this year, Caradog, with your multi-millionaire mates? Nothing planned, but you know how it is. Just kind of get a phone call, and it's just like, do you want to go out tomorrow? And it's like, oh yeah, sure, where are we going? New York? Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you understand.
San Francisco.
Coast to coast and into Chicago. Anyway. Oh. Okay.
That sounded concerning.
Well, it's the fact that I saw I had a DM from JD that was a video, and I was just like, oh, I see.
Ah, that was a mistake.
I'm sure I've just been accused of crimes.
Yeah.
You know, just a simple trip to New York in a private plane. Exactly. I was bummed when they stopped doing Concorde, because then you couldn't land in New York before you left.
I can go down there. This isn't going to be cable porn, just so you know, people. I just want to make it look halfway presentable, just so it's not a disaster when you take the back off.
Yes.
Damage control, damage control, damage control.
Yes. So what you're saying is, what I did was fine.
No, it wasn't.
You've just unplugged it, replugged it, unplugged it, replugged it, and then gone, oh, actually.
Yeah. However, the extent of my cable tidying job is just going to essentially be just gather the cables up into a loom. Just so it looks like there was actually some logic to it.
Yes. Discussions of rumours. New rumours do come out.
I see.
I can't remember if I mentioned to you about the Intel Foundries and Xbox conversations.
No.
About Intel Foundries bidding to make the new Xbox. Sorry,
Oh, yes.
Intel and Intel Foundries.
Yes.
So it'd be Intel hardware foundried on Intel Foundries for the new Xbox.
Yes, you mentioned...
So your new Xbox would now require 1.2 kilowatts.
I was about to say, you mentioned this and I laughed loudly and was just like, Intel making an Xbox chip, good luck with that.
So yes.
What are they... What graphics card are they going to put in it? An ARC? Ha 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 ha.
Yeah. But apparently the deal was at the point where Intel was basically going to be giving the parts away to Xbox.
Oh my god. I mean, that would close a deal if you were just getting free parts, but good grief, that's desperation.
Right? They were basically giving the parts away.
Why would...
because then it proves that Intel foundries are valid.
Yeah, I
Because
guess.
they're making the Xbox.
Yeah.
It also means that it shows that Arc is valid because it powers the Xbox.
Yeah, I was like, what fight are they trying to win there? Because like, you don't get mind space. Like Xbox and PlayStation fans, they don't care that AMD makes the chips. That PlayStation and Xbox fanboys, they're not AMD fanboys because AMD makes the chip that powers their console. They don't give a shit what's in the console.
Yeah.
So
they
like,
just want it to be better than the PlayStation.
yeah, so like you're not winning mind share there, but like maybe it's just so they can say to again, business customers just like, oh yes, well, we make all of those Xboxes that your kid uses, kind of thing. Maybe there's value there.
Yeah, don't know, but yes, I thought that was interesting. That conversation, played out for an awful lot longer than it normally does.
Yeah, especially if it went so far as them saying we would do this for free.
Yeah, apparently they'd be doing it significantly below actual foundry cost, kind of thing.
Damn.
It's just like, Jesus. Okay, Intel.
Intel are not okay. I keep saying it. They are not okay.
Yeah. Like, they have lost all server momentum.
Yeah, that's it. They just, like, I don't say that in a happy voice or anything. I'm not gloating, because obviously we do need competition. This was proven by the fact that CPUs were completely stagnant until AMD got their act together, and suddenly CPU space got exciting. And if Intel drop into the same terrible place that AMD found themselves in, we're going to have the same problem. AMD will just not be pushing because they don't need to.
Yeah.
That they are not immune to that.
Yeah. I think there's a slightly lower risk of that happening with AMD soon, just because it's, to a degree, they're still pleased that they have survived.
Yeah.
So I think it will take a little longer to get to that point.
Yeah.
But they will get to that point, because why wouldn't you?
That's it.
If you can slash your R&D, if you slash your R&D budget by 95% and
make
still
more money.
and still win,
Yeah.
why waste the other money?
Yeah.
Kind of comment.
Yeah. AMD are not your friend. Like, don't get me wrong. We support them because they were the underdog and they came out swinging and gave big bad Intel a bloody nose.
Yeah.
And
but there's still a business that's out there to make money. They are not your friend.
Yeah.
So yeah, but no, I think it's further off for that, just because obviously you have to replace the leadership who was there when AMD nearly failed for the mentality to change.
Yeah.
Of, we're still a company that is barely holding on.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But, that doesn't take that long. So, yeah. Yeah, and if only they could stop scoring own goals with the GPU side. It's true. Radeon marketing needs to be replaced by AMD CPU marketing, in my opinion. Like, the actual leadership of it needs to be drawn under the same leadership, so they stop making the same ridiculous wacko comments on Twitter and so on. It's just like, oh yes, this generation's going to be 96% faster. Debated.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you're what? Haha, we're edgy because we're Radeon or something.
Yeah, there's too much of that doing the rounds. It's the same old issue that we've been seeing with brand on Twitter. This is why that silence brand meme exists. Just because so many brands just try and be clever on Twitter, and there are very few people that can pull it off. The Sonic Twitter can pull it off. Wendy's were kind of the original. They got away with it. But there are so many of them, like Opera GX, that just keep making jokes. And it's just like, shut up, Opera. No one likes you except kids who don't know better.
Yeah, given the fact that you're literally loan sharks.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe one day we'll see Radeon radiating successfully or something. I don't know. So someone else can conjugate that.
Yeah. Right. Going up right a sec. How can we?
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to do a clever. I'm going to try and do a clever.
I'm going to try and be clever.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do, this ARGB cable, we want it to plug in up here, but we also want to tuck it out of sight, and that's kind of difficult to do. You can just tuck it down the motherboard, and that does work. But to make it stay behind the motherboard, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug it, and if I can, I'm going to thread the connector behind that screw post, and that will just hook it under the board naturally. Yeah. And this is where cable tidying gets into the realm of that's an awful lot more trouble than it's worth, but you get some really nice effects. And the plug doesn't fit, never mind.
Yeah, I spent about half a second trying, which is like, no.
Oh, okay.
The only thing I thought of is passing it through here.
I'm going to back out that motherboard screw, because then the motherboard will bend just enough for me to get away with that.
Oh, of course, and here's Spud with his spaghetti.
Yes, understandable.
Spud, who builds in one case and one case only.
Yeah, Spud, who's just like, the Fractal R7 is still relevant, or whatever one it is.
The Fractal Define R7 XL.
Yeah. Fractal Define is still relevant.
Is a small...
No, it's not, Spud. Or, well, actually, we just say, whatever you say, Grandpa, as we wheel him back into the old folks' home.
It is a compact and attractive case.
With good airflow. Whoops, never mind.
Actually, we've switched to the P20.
I don't know that one. Also, hi, Spud. Nice to see you. I'm sorry. I just came out swinging there. I heard Spud and I just started lining them up, you know. I was going to say, what the hell is the P20? I don't recognise that. Also, are we still on bench cam?
Huawei. The Antec P20C? Are we still on bench cam? Yes, probably.
Okay.
Yes.
That's fine, actually, because now we can stay on bench cam, so I'm laying it down again.
Very well.
Basically just trying to make sure that people aren't staring at a wall of white. We're not just flashbanging everyone.
Yerd.
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 I presume it's youth speak.
I'm sorry, Spud, I don't speak Zoomer, so...
It's okay. Spud will be 20 in 2 years.
This is the point where he turns around, he's like, look, you're being very Phantom Tax here. That's not very skibbity of you. Oh, God, these things are like, I'm sorry, Spud. It's nice to see you, seriously. I did not choose violence.
Wow, Graham, you're being so baby. Ah, yes. Supports phantom floating CPUs.
I was going to say, well, those pictures look very artsy.
Triple 140mm front mount.
Oh, that'll be why Spud likes them.
Good.
Because workstation.
Only dual 120 front mount. Top mount.
It's fine. No one serious cares about top mount.
I'll
yes,
have
shots
you
fired.
now. I'll have you know.
I mean, yeah, but that's because... But then you're building in a 20-year-old case, so...
It's not 20 years old.
It's 10. Yeah.
Exactly.
Proper dread, no cap, for real. I see. I'm having to squint because I took off my glasses. I'm going, proper dread, no cap, FRFR. I see.
I'm not squinting at you because of what you said. I'm squinting at you because I'm old and require glasses.
All right. I think that's all right for a 50 quid cable tidy job.
Yeah.
You could take that back panel off and not be ashamed of it. Oh, have we got... yeah, we have graphics card things in there.
Yes.
Now
I
wonder...
already giraffed.
Do I have any combs? I'm just going to check. I'm sure I had a tray with some cable combs in them.
You need Caradog inside stickers.
He's inside all of us.
That reminds me of a poor taste Intel type sticker.
End conversation.
Yes.
Oh. Can't find them. Unless it's not in...
You can make those? Oh, stickers, yes. Single slot GPU? What part of that's a single slot GPU? It is very much dual slot and a bit. And by a bit, I mean like half. Where is the Adamant IT badge? This is a good question. Where are the Adamant IT blanking plates?
Yeah, I didn't spec and start this build. I think it would be a bit cheeky to put my brand on it. Losing interest in 3, 2, 1. Nope, no cable combs for you. I'm sure at some point I had some spare combs. So yeah, you can buy on eBay, Amazon, wherever, you can buy some just cheap plastic cable combs that you can just fit into there. That will just space out those wires really nicely. And that just, it's worth doing. If you've taken the trouble to put in braided extensions, it's worth sticking some combs in. If you can't do that, then just try and line them up a little bit and stick a zip tie just to hold the end in the nice alignment, like that kind of thing. And that will get you just a nice smooth loop, which is what people want to see. Have I got some cheeky little white zip ties here? I do. So I'm just going to try and do what I can there, just for posterity. So I'm just going to square up those wires.
Which one is your Windows 11? Is it the staff one?
It's the knockoff Equestria, girls.
Oh, yes.
You fool. You absolute buffoon. You idiot.
Is this Equestria Girls? Yes, it is.
That's all right.
Hey, hey, everybody.
Oh, memories. Don't know how much I like that zip tie. I think that's all right. I think that's better than just letting them splay out. That's not great, but it leaves this top bit nice and tidy, and that's where you're looking. How does chat feel about that?
I feel like chat's comment has been, use cable ties.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think we're going to win with the ATX there. To be honest, you can put a comb in an ATX one, but unless your hole is perfectly lined up, so you can just do a nice 180. Shut up.
No, size comment. It's fine.
Yeah, unless things line up perfectly, it's really difficult to fit a comb onto the ATX cable anyway. So once again,
put a cable tie around each cable in the separately braided, then cable tie that all together. Line up your holes, people.
Right, let's just see if I can... I don't think I'm going to be able to get any meaningful look there. I'm just trying to just massage the cable just so it does a nice smooth loop, basically. That'll do.
Oh yeah. I guess also like white stick tape, white fabric tape would be an option as well, as opposed to cable tie.
What? Oh, just like a single ring around that holding it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do. Yeah.
PC massage stream when.
I see. Cool. Right, let's sort out that CPU one. This just needed to be clocked 180 degrees to sort this cable properly, but I think I can save this without having to remount the CPU heatsink. just by... What I can do here is if I just rotate this anti-clockwise, it's just going to make the cable try and stick downwards. And then when I plug it in again, it can't spin. And now that cable is just sitting down against the motherboard. In an ideal world, we would unscrew this, turn it 180 degrees and plug it in so the cable is coming out up here, not down here. However, that's fine. The other reason why you put this the other way around so the AMD logo is over there is because this is blocking the first slot, the first memory slot. But like, who uses the first memory slot? Wrong people do. So yeah.
I can think of someone.
So can I, but it's mean to say that. So
It's me.
have you got a 4 kit at the moment?
Yes.
Okay, but also you actually understand memory timings. That's your.
I have a 4-stick set of Samsung B-Die.
Yeah. There's a quote from Northern Lights by Philip Pullman that I think about a lot, where Lyra, the main character, she's a little sort of toe rag and just runs around climbing on buildings all day kind of thing. Eventually, one of her carers gets hold of her and is just like, "What have you been doing? Your fingernails are filthy," kind of thing. And she goes, "So are the Proctors." To which her carer says, "He's a learned man. What's your excuse?" And I'm like, it's kind of a good line, you know. It's just like, Caradog runs a 4-DIMM memory kit. He actually understands memory timings. What's your excuse? You know.
And a terrible Asus board. But you repeat yourself.
That power LED has popped out.
Get back in.
Put that thing back where it came from. So help me.
Bomb, bomb, bomb.
So help me. So help me. All right. Good. That's done. We're done. Let's put the side panels on. Back to the main cam, if you would be so kind.
Pow! I like...
What's the timer on?
Out the way. 3 hours, 49 and 30 seconds.
Oof. Okay. Yeah, good. I think we're about to finish up in that case.
If I could just line up.
Breathe deep. Breathe deep.
Have you done it?
Okay, we've got it.
Have you got it in the hole?
Yep, it just needs a bit of a wiggle. A bit of a wiggle. There we go.
Good. Lovely.
That's the only problem with hinged side panels when you take them off, is just... Ugh. It's not bad. They put a slight bit of a flange around this so it doesn't feel too much like a wobble board. It's not great, but it's not the worst I've ever seen. There's also a bit missing from the case as well, that the customer will have, and that is
fingers crossed.
The I'll turn the PC. I'll turn it around in a second. Just point it out. It's a lot easier than trying to explain it. Whoop. There we go. Oh, right. This cover plate here is missing. The customer will have that somewhere, so that just screws on, and then that covers up that enormous gaping hole in the back of the case.
Ah, I've just had a calendar notification. The problem is... Oh, I see. Yes, it's my notification saying I must leave. Goodbye.
Actually, or... Okay.
No.
Fine. I was like, is there actually somewhere you need to be? Like, if so, I'll finish up here, you know. Okay, let's... What happened to the... It's there. There it is. Ooh, ooh. That suddenly made a very loud scratching noise and made me jump. I'm of a nervous disposition. Conniptions. Good. Bam. 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 Nice. Huzzah. That's a good looking PC. I'm telling you, braided cable extensions, I think they're worth every penny. They really look nice. Whatever. Cool.
Oh dear,
right.
I was supposed to have been out an hour ago.
I'm late for the big race.
I mean, I did do that one time. Just kind of go, oh yes, I should have been at dinner 4 minutes ago. Oops.
Right. Let's see. Oh, we were going to do a BIOS update on this.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll quickly slap that on there, I guess.
Did you download it?
Yes, it's in the downloads folder. I will plug an USB.
Along with 700 other things.
I'm also going to go XMP.
Why?
Why not?
Because we're about to do a BIOS update.
I guess, yeah.
Please remove your stick. It's now safe to remove.
Take out Windows drive, put in USB drive. Right, let's just quit without saving.
There we go.
Right, let's see. M-Flash. System will auto-reboot and enter flash mode.
Very good.
Are you looking for...
A USB cable to use for the capture.
Has it not got one plugged in already?
Oh, it has one plugged in.
Yeah. Yeah,
oh,
we
you
just
left it there.
Yes, I just stole HDMI cables.
Very well.
God. Right. We're just going to stick on 11 home. And if the customer has a Pro license, they can tap in their Pro license and it will upgrade them to Pro. If in doubt, always put home on it because you can upgrade home to Pro, but you can't downgrade from Pro to home. So it's always safest to stick home on there. Burp. Burp.
You should now have a picture.
We do. So you should now be able to capture.
Oops. Hello.
Capture with face?
Oops.
Whatever you're trying to do, you're doing... oh, okay, yeah.
I was just making sure.
Oh, face cam with capture. Yep,
Yes.
sorry, yep. I'm sorry I doubted you. I'm sorry. No. Right, I'm going to reset
Because I
and
wasn't
start
sure what you've done to this scene.
Nothing. I don't know what I've done to that scene either.
What have you done? Thank you, Graham.
Oh, it's because this... Oh, there was no output from the thing. It's fine. Okay, right. Whatever. Okay, we're here now. We're here. The computer power cycle, because it had nowhere to boot from. It should boot back into BIOS. And then I can go to BIOS Flash again. There we go. Right. Here's the BIOS, everyone. So we're going to go M-Flash. Did I get that? I think I did. There we go. You're resting. What's the harm of giving Pro? Because if he doesn't have a Pro license, he has to reinstall Windows. Right. Is this thing going to actually go into flash mode? It's thinking about it. Thanks, MSI. I love it. Okay, let's heckin' do advanced. Do it through here instead. Advanced. Oh, MSI, where the fudge is your just... Oh, M-Flash, there it is. Oh, yeah, it's the same thing. All right, let's try that again then. I had it in the correct mode already, and then I reset it so I could show you guys how we got to that screen, and now it won't go back into flash mode.
I think that's right. Hold on. Where's just the size? Oh, there.
I would question what you're up to, but also I'm just staring at a black screen. There we go. We're in M-Flash, everyone. We're winning.
You did it.
All right, there we go. Right,
think
Kingston
that's right.
Data Traveler. And we're going to use that one because it's the only thing there. Right, yes, we want to select this file. So yeah, we're going from September 23 to January 24. So we're jumping up a couple of versions. Off it goes, everyone. BIOS is updating. Do not power off the computer.
Yes.
Huzzah. You shall be flashed.
I think I did the wrong
Power
acceleration.
cut.
There you go.
I still had a lot of fun making that video where I just deliberately pulled the power cable out halfway through a flash.
Huh!
Yeah, just so many people. There was a lot of comments of people going, "Oh, I winced when you did that, even though you were going to fix it and stuff. I still winced, you know." Imagine Deck listened to that. Yes. Yeah. His motherboard will be showing up and we'll do a BIOS flash on it.
And then set fire.
No UPS. I mean, power is generally pretty stable in the UK. We usually just don't need to bother with UPSs. You know, and like, I think if you're in an area where you know you've got bad power, like there are some people in rural areas where the power's a bit shaky and they're going to know that they shouldn't try and do BIOS updates without having backup. But like in here, a power cut is not something I'm expecting to encounter, you know.
Mm.
Here in Serbia, power sometimes go crazy. Yeah, like if you're in a country where it's prone to it, I could certainly understand it. I've got a small UPS sitting in the back room. I even bought a new battery for it years ago, but I've just never gotten around to plugging it into anything.
I even bought the battery.
Yeah, well, I got the UPS for free, and it had a knackered battery in, but it just has a 12 volt. It just has like a little 12 volt motorcycle battery in it, kind of thing. So I think I got a new one for like 30 quid or something. I was like, oh yeah, 30 quid for a working UPS, I'll take that. The original plan was to take it to LAN parties and stuff because the power's always sketchy at LAN parties. But to this day, I've gone to like 3 LAN raiders without bringing it with me just because I couldn't be asked. But yeah, I guess I could have it for home. It would probably be useful at home, just so if I, well, yeah. It's just, yeah, the problem, like, if your power actually goes out, it's not like you're going to keep using your computer. So, yeah. You don't have it on the data backup one? That would kind of make sense, I suppose, but I don't really do mission critical data backup. I guess it kind of makes sense to stick it on the data transfer machine though, just because if there was a power cut and I was in the middle of something important, I might not get a second chance. Given the fact that it's not in use at the moment and it's just sitting in the back room, it makes sense to plug it into the Lianli. Yeah. Yeah. Good for routers. This is true, yeah. Right, I am actually going to have to pee. I've been holding it for a while and we're not there yet. Even though there's like 5 minutes of the stream left, I'm like, oh, okay.
There we go.
Actually, yeah.
Are you going or not?
No, let's wrap up.
Okay.
People don't need to watch us install Windows 11, I don't think.
There
We've done the BIOS update. We're on the new BIOS version. Huzzah.
It has occurred.
Yeah, we're going to install Windows on it and it's done.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Your presence has been appreciated.
Okay, Caradog is actually crashing us out the stream. Thanks for coming, everyone. If you want more of my dumb voice, I'll be on Twitch tomorrow. Si's doing the thing. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Bye.